Alright, the butt's going. It's doing the thing now. I really gotta stop wiggling this.
You record?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Are you gonna do the Patreon intro?
Yeah, I think I was just about to ask, should I do a little bit of a Patreon intro? I need to stop touching my microphone because it's like picking up all the springs.
Yeah, I know, I hear that.
We lean it off me a little and we dial it back down. The joys of live show stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do I still sound like I'm a live boy?
You just got real quiet all of a sudden.
No, it's because it's doing that thing where I'm trying to like click and drag, but I click the bar instead. Okay, I stepped it back a little. Hey everybody, before we get started, I just want to say that this is brought to you by our patrons like Miru. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies. And it would really help us out, as you can see with me wrestling with this microphone thing. That's why we need Patreon support, so you can help us not have to deal with that bullshit. I'm going to need to normalize the hell out of this audio. I'm like so peaky right now. Let me step it back from my face a little. Let me keep stepping it back from my face.
Like, see, now you understand like my struggles of
Yes,
my microphone
okay.
that I've been having for like the past
I can't use my. I don't think I can
6
use my
months.
keyboard right now because I have to push that back. But okay, the microphone's pushed back for me. I can watch the sound waves. What's up, Lucky?
With the, you know what's up with me? Not a lot, really. But let's more about that later. But as everyone can probably hear right about now, what's up with you is something pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I bought a new microphone.
Yeah.
It's the same model that you use.
Mm-hmm. I really like
in general, it's really improved my sound quality. It's decided to be temperamental, much like all electronics I own. So we had a little bit of scare earlier, but it seems to have reconnected. If my audio quality suddenly takes a plummet in the middle of the episode, that means that it stopped working again, and I had to plug in my old microphone. So
I think I
fun.
might have had this problem when I first got this mic, but unfortunately, everyone knows my memory is like horrible at best, and I can't remember what I did to fix it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I will continue to troubleshoot in the future, and hopefully we can get it, because it was like super way better at first, but
oh yeah,
now it's kind of like super sensitive.
yeah, like. So here's the thing: when you get like highly specialized, good pieces of equipment, they are ridiculously delicate because you just have that high quality now, so that when you sound off, it's really noticeable.
Right.
So like
Also,
you have
by the
like
way,
more lower tier stuff, it kind of yeah.
If you hear it like squeaking
When
stuff,
you have,
it's doing the thing. Hey, worst comes to worst, they gave me that big fucking SLR cable. Maybe my next purchase will be like a mixer to put the microphone into, and then put that in my computer and hope that unfucks itself.
Yeah, I still have mine. I'm like, I don't mess with it.
No, but I got an arm, and I got
next...
a high-quality microphone.
Yeah, like...
And there's a little bit
like
of
my next
background
purchase,
like I
like...
gotta cancel out, but that's okay. I gotta do that anyway.
Yeah, like, my probable next purchase for the channel, I put that in quotes, is probably going to be a capture card.
Yeah, that's the next big thing I think I need.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get that, like, by mid-September, I'm hoping, because, like, mid-September, Shadow of the Tomb Raider comes out. That might be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Valkyria Chronicles 4 comes out late September.
Yeah,
I know people are going to want to watch that.
Double check on my stuff, because I can stream, obviously, but that means I'm streaming it, not recording it.
Yeah, and as I said, I don't like the PS4 stream function. I really don't.
Yeah, it's kind of problematic, especially with a lot of Japanese developers are super sensitive about their spoilers and other nonsense, so...
I can understand why, but at the same time.
Like, streaming Extella was just fucking impossible.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I didn't understand that.
Like, literally all cutscenes were blocked, all boss intros were blocked.
Like, Persona 5, I like, you know what? I respect it, because I remember specifically Persona 5, Atlas came out with, like, a full statement saying...
Oh, yeah, no. You can't even stream. Like, now that it blocks cutscenes, you just can't stream it.
You just can't stream it. But they, they preface everything with saying, like, these are our reasons why doing it. Some games are just like, no, wait, no. Just no.
Now we're going to block some of your scenes and stuff? It's just like, God, that's real fucking annoying. I'd love to capture that directly. Which brings me back to, I think, we can talk about what I've been playing recently. Mm-hmm. Still playing New Vegas when I'm not doing, like, phone games and stuff. And I gotta say, funnily enough, I think there was just some news about how Bethesda's not interested in doing third-party developers as much anymore. Which is a shame, because I fucking love Fallout New Vegas, but that maybe is
Right.
why Bethesda doesn't want to do third-party stuff, because they didn't make Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, I hear like New Vegas is like usually lauded as like one of the better Fallout. That's like above, like people put it above 3 and 4, if I remember
That's
correctly.
because it is.
Yeah,
It's I mean, I haven't played 4.
I haven't played Fallout 4 personally, so
But I have heard from people. Basically, I've heard from Ron, because he fucking loves Fallout also. But I've heard from him
yeah,
that
he does.
4 is a bit like how 3 was, where there's a lot of very rigid story stuff and endings, and it's Bethesda still, but it's very focused on specific stories and endings that don't interact and kind of railroad you,
Yeah.
which is a lot
New
how
Vegas
Fallout
is what the fuck
3
ever.
was. Yeah, New Vegas, you don't give a fuck. Like, there are 4 endings also in New Vegas, but they're very dynamic, they're very atmospheric, and honestly, you can progress quite a ways in any of the main 4 faction plot lines without doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just be like me and you can not give... I mean, I've helped NCR out a little bit in this run just because that makes your life easier because they're fucking everywhere. Like, pissing off the NCR is a bad idea. I'm still thinking one. Just because
Yeah, you don't.
they're fucking... If every NCR grunt will shoot at you, there are like so many areas of the map you can't walk because they'll just fucking shoot you. Obviously, that's what the disguise system is for, but still, like, it's... Yeah. Meanwhile, Legion almost never leaves the bank of the river. Like, apart from a couple of, like, scripted early encounters so that you know who Legion are and you can choose to side with them if you're a horrible monster. Yeah, you don't have to run into them if you don't want to. You just
Yeah, no.
you can just keep telling them to fuck off. I think I'm actually going to go independent Vegas this playthrough eventually, but that's way later. That's like after I do all the DLC and all the other stuff. Mostly I'm just fucking around in the desert trying to make money, because the economy in New Vegas is one of the things that I think is the weakest.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, Gunrunners or some of the other arms merchants... Now, I have Gunrunner's Arsenal. I have all the DLCs, I think, which is saying something for me back on the PS3 era. That was quite a lot of work Younger Omega did to get that to work. But, so I have Gunrunner's Arsenal,
Good
so
job.
that's added some new versions of guns, that's rebalanced some stuff. But, like, buying things? Oh my god, like, 5 to 7K for, like, higher tier guns, and you're like, where the fuck do I make this much money?
I may do. I remember that's something I like. That's the thing I kind of like. It's like, yeah, there's always better guns, but you better keep some of your older guns as a fallback.
Well, yeah, 'cause
like
you
my
go-
varmint. I can remember I kept the varmint rifle for like the longest time.
The thing is, I learned where the unique varmint rifle, the Rat Slayer, is. That's kind of pain in the ass to get because the giant rats are unusually strong, especially at early levels. But if you get it, it's a unique weapon that it's got slightly better damage, I think, and it's got all 3 upgrades built in. So it comes with a night scope, the silencer, and the extended mags. Which is
That's what
fucking
I like
great
that-
if you're doing
like-
a gun sneaking. Which, by the way, if you're playing Fallout New Vegas and you're not doing sneak plus guns, like, if you're doing guns and you're not doing sneak, what the fuck?
Man, like every time, like, so this is backing up a little bit from Fallout New Vegas, but like that is like my go-to combo that I go for in games like this. It's, do I have a ranged weapon? Okay, cool. Now, do I have a sneak ability? Cool, done. Commence mission.
Hey,
Sneak gun.
Guess what my first and favorite build in Mass Effect was when I played Mass Effect 2 when that came to PS3.
What was it?
It was the... what is the sneaky class? Is it Operator?
Yeah.
I was Sniper Rifle
tech
and
gun.
Cloak. That was my Shepard. Ron likes to rave about Vanguard and Biotic Charge, but I'm like, fuck no, I'm going to turn invisible, and I'm going to make everybody's heads disappear from way back here. Biotics
See,
are
Mass
cool,
Effect-
but just like... Give me a big fucking rifle and a long, long ways. That's me. That's me in real life. I don't want to engage anybody. I want to stand way the fuck back and be as effective as possible from this distance. Now that I haven't had some fun with melee.
That's the weird thing with me though. In Mass Effect, I felt I had just as much fun playing because I played a Vanguard too. I played exclusively Vanguard and Andromeda, just because I thought it was fun. But like, yeah, like during the original Mass Effect 1 and 2, I never played 3, so I can't. No, it was Operator. It was just, it's so good.
Yeah. So that's
like,
how,
I have teammates to run in and like shoot things and scream about it.
Yeah, no, you pick somebody who's tanky, you tell them to move the fuck up, and they take care of it, and you just like,
Yeah.
You
provide covering fire.
You're dead. Critical damage. Critical hit systems are
Good.
great for that. But yeah, no, that is my I definitely have a, because I usually play Fallout New Vegas as like a comfort thing. Like, this is just so familiar to me. Because I don't have anything better to do right now. And it's like I've played Fallout New Vegas a lot when I was sick and stuff. I'm almost always max the fuck out of guns and repair, so I can repair all my own shit, and so I can eventually get like hand loader and junk loader and all the ammo perks, because I love that. Max out survival, so you can make all your own shit, and a little bit of science, so you can make stim packs. And then just be entirely self-sufficient. I live in the wasteland. Everything I have stolen from somebody or cobbled together from something I found. And occasionally, after a few dozen levels, you make enough money, you can go to Gunrunners and just buy the anti-material rifle, and then you're like, I can kill anything with this gun. And then Gunrunner's Arsenal added explosive rounds, which are fucking expensive, but oh my god, they're so fun. Fuck you, Deathclaws.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Every time I play Fallout New Vegas, I'm always ending. I don't think I played with the DLC, so I didn't get the anti-material, but I did have the 50 cal. I think I had the special.
Well, yeah, that's it.
50
That's the 50 cal is the anti-material rifle. That's
what
what
it's
called.
Is it? Is
yeah.
it? Oh, okay. Then maybe I did. But I'd always be in the Ranger. I always be in the Ranger armor with the sweet ass coat.
Which is one of the things I will say I do fucking love about the Divide. It adds a couple different layers of unique Ranger armor, which you don't have to accidentally murk any NCR Rangers to get. Yeah, no, the DLC is real fun.
I think I kind of feel like I found my Ranger armor. I usually find. I can't remember where.
There's like one place I think you can like quote unquote steal. Not that it matters, because hey, guess what? Fallout New Vegas doesn't give a fuck about your morality. Like, they kept the karma system from 3, but it's fucking useless. You get karma for killing fiends, and you lose a little for like stealing from anybody. It's like, nah, it's dumb. Doesn't matter. Factions is where it's at. Which I will say, that's one thing I like about it. Like, New Vegas is not as moralistic as 3. I have a great... Back when I had a live journal, let's roll that turn back. But actually, I technically probably still do have the live journal. I don't know if they take it away from me for a while. But I wrote, like, after action reports on playthroughs of Fallout 3. And I did the Goody Two-Shoes thing, and then I did an evil playthrough. This is where I learned a lot about morality in video games. My evil playthrough started as just... I'll just take the evil options, like I'll selfishly blow up Megaton for news about my dad and a shitload of money and stuff, and then it turned into just, these people literally can't stop me. Shopkeepers have all their inventory in a chest. Why? What's stopping me from just shooting them? And you know how you can arrange a wedding in Rivet City?
Really?
You can. I just threw a grenade in there. I was like, I don't care about any of these people. I can just fucking kill them. Who cares? That was my great revelation, like, honestly, age, 13 or 14, like, wow, you know, morality's not really a hard fixed point, is it?
No, it's really not. See, that's the thing, like, I remember we had this discussion a while back in the Discord, but, morality systems and video games that really need to get away from the, black and white options.
Unless you were playing a D&D-esque, like, high fantasy, good and evil are literal forces out in the world doing stuff.
Yeah.
You need to roll that back a little. Like, yeah. Because here's the thing I'll say. I say that morality is relative. At the same time, it's kind of not, because humans are social creatures. I can't remember. I think it was the philosopher Rousseau who said that humans are fundamentally good, right?
Was that Socrates?
I don't think it was Socrates. I think it was Rousseau. But there's a natural state of good in humanity. I think that's true to a certain extent because humans are social creatures. We want to build communities and all that other stuff. That's just our natural impulse. We form cliques and all this other shit. And then we bully about other cliques. But we're still... The average functional human has some degree of socialization. I say this as an introverted person. I still get with communities and discuss stuff and share resources and whatnot.
Unfortunately, I'm on the other side. I'm of the mentality that people are born evil, and basically us being social with each other is what that ultimately turns us into good.
That might be it. That might just be an adaptation of our socialization, but I say the goodness is just, if you think about it, almost every culture has the same, like, high-level moral or ethical concerns. So they're always like, don't kill people for no reason, don't take somebody else's shit if they're in your social group kind of stuff. Like, who is
but
who is in the groups you are protected from, like, depends on your social situation. But in general, human nature, I think, has a couple of things that we think these are not social behaviors. We should not encourage these. That's what I mean when I say that humans are quote unquote good. Like we have an impulse to be in a group and to follow certain rules, which are almost always universal, and then we kind of break that into like a higher-minded philosophical place that turns into a different discussion.
As I said, again, like, the way I think of it is basically humans are born evil and then basically grow up to be, what's the word I want to put this? Acceptable members of society. Because you can take a child and without any instruction, a child will understand how to lie, how to steal, how to fight. And those aren't just because they're like necessarily evil, they're just natural survival instincts. Like, oh no, I don't want to get in trouble. I should blame it on someone else. Oh no, I don't want this taken from me. I have to fight them. I'm hungry. Maybe I should just go get something to eat. But it's basically because we have the concepts of property and community that we have laws, and those laws are impressed upon us at a young age. They are reinforced as we grow up, and then we in turn teach them to our young. So
it's like funnily enough. Hey everybody! In case you're wondering if some of us are blowing smoke out our asses, I'm not. At least I have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice. So it's very interesting you say that. I think on just like a scientific, like sociological level, you're kind of right, actually.
Yeah.
It's if you want to see people develop delinquent and antisocial behaviors, it happens very early. If they are not properly socialized, like if they don't get the right kind of treatment from their parents or their peers or their environment, like some people have like physiological or neurological like imbalances which set them off. But just in general, like if you want to see people be antisocial and delinquent, they just don't hug them as kids. So you are right in that aspect, but at the same time, I think that like we may be putting too much on this by saying stuff like good or evil. Like
well,
a naked human in the wilderness in the woods knows how to survive and doesn't have a moral compunction to stop it.
Yeah,
but we are also naturally social creatures, so when we are in our social conditions, we have a different set of behaviors. And most humans are in civilization, so most of us, I think, have our pick up on our natural social qualities. Because if you put a group of people out there, you can kind of get Lord of the Flies, but at the same time, like if people are being smart, like they're not like something isn't immediately pressing them to do dumb things, people will quickly figure out shit like, okay, we need to get fucking water, we need a shelter, somebody has to figure out the work. And okay, sometimes your social group like builds a hierarchy based on who's the bossiest and who's the biggest punchy, but you still intrinsically organize yourself.
Yeah, but that's like that. I would say that's more just an aspect of making a community, making a social group. Like how that social group operates, I think is on a completely different scale. Like, let's say you have just you have a group, like you take a bunch of humans, you throw them into a survival situation, and you just observe how they act. Will they let's use post-apocalyptic for example? Will they steal from others and ensure their survival? Will they just decide to forage and try to help others? It's that's the thing. I think it's unfair to people oh god, how to
well, let's say this.
This is how you know Lucky is
very separate things.
This is how you know Lucky is evil, but you do not understand a person's nature until you put them in a stressful situation that makes them test that.
Well, that's
nature.
Very true. The only person that matters is the person you are in the dark, basically.
Yeah. Because as I said again, we are all conditioned to be good. I say air quotes good because good is the law. You want to follow the law because you don't want to break the rules, because if you break the rules, bad shit happens to you, whether jail time, money loss, you might piss off the wrong person.
Of it, but also there's also we phrase it as that's illegal, but at the same time there's definitely social cues and rules that little kids pick up. And
that's,
we should say this: small children are all fucking narcs.
Like, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not like
somebody
saying
else
like
doing
Omega's
something that's
wrong
quote unquote
because
wrong.
this is personally my opinion.
They'll
This is
narc
what
speak
I
loud.
believe. And sorry, what?
I was saying that small kids are narcs. Like if they see somebody doing something quote unquote wrong, they'll fucking rat that person out. There's no honor amongst thieves and kids, which is ironic because that's a thing that's a behavior you pick up later as you get older.
Yeah,
is the concept of honor amongst thieves.
Snitches get stitches and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a socialization behavior. Hey, guess what? If you're in a social group who breaks the greater social group's rules, maybe you should look after each other.
Yeah, and so it's not this whole good versus evil conversation, especially in children, is not something that has been like nailed down. There has like been discussions and debates on it.
I'll say this: I took. I have a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. I took 2 full years of that. Nothing but criminal justice courses. Like all my gen ed courses were done because I already got a associates. There's no silver bullet to criminology. There's like dozens of theories on criminal behavior, and they all explain some of them, but not all of them. Some people just have like some kind of biological defect. Some of them have some kind of weird psychological condition. Some people engage in behaviors because they're conditioned to it. They just see that people around them break laws, and they're like, well, then I guess laws don't actually matter. Lots of stuff is due to that cold, calculating, rational aspect that's just like, well, I can get away with it. There's no reason not to do it, right?
Yeah.
It's
all a product of your environment. That's ultimately what I think it is. Because as a child, it's not evil, it's survival. But where that goes, where that turns into, completely on the environment.
You're talking about that development course. You have there are a couple of windows in your life as you're growing up that if you miss key aspects of just the greater human society, because this is what I mean, like the collective unconsciousness, the like societal ethos, the zeitgeist, that's a thing. There's definitely a collective nature to humans. I don't know if there's like magic shit in there as like, some persona type shit, like, oh, we're all literally sharing the same unconscious, but humans are all the same species. We all generally have the same needs, so we have kind of a collective spirit, like I said, a collective ethos that contains those things, like I said, like, hey, don't kill or beat up people for no reason. Don't take somebody who's in your social group as shit. Don't do other stuff. We have these kinds of recurring themes and symbols in our don't do this shit book. And if you, in your development cycles, miss a couple of those key socializations where your human nature gets kind of attuned to the greater human nature, you maybe don't pick up on that. Which is something I wanted to say earlier, actually. We should say people and a person are 2 separate entities, because mob mentality is totally a thing, right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It is. So you were talking about, like, does a group, like, forwards, or do they steal shit from other people? A lot of that, I think, depends on the individual makeup, which then shapes the collective behavior.
Yeah.
Which is actually, honestly, that's probably why video game morality is so, like, ultra flexible. Like, I don't feel like a bad person for throwing frag grenades into a wedding, because it was fake, and those people didn't really matter, and it was all just an illusion. Real life is not an illusion.
That's the thing with, like, Fallout. Like, you don't really get invested in Fallout for, like, stories and characters. You get out there to wander around.
There are a couple of, like, plot lines which can get a little deep in there. But at the same time, some of them just might be the writing. Because, at least in New Vegas, Chris Avalon's kind of depressing. Ron will probably want to hit me for that. But, like, there's a lot of shit that just doesn't get resolved well. It's just, okay, well, that's over. Like, Boone's quests are it's just fucking tragic, and there's nothing you can do about it. It all happened already. You have to, like, help him get over the fact that this fucked up shit happened to him, and, like, hey, buddy, you can actually exist as a person and keep moving through life.
But, like, as I said, most of Fallout New Vegas is, exploring, discovering these little stories here and there. Like, I remember in New Vegas, like, getting into the vaults and finding out what the fuck went down. That was, like, the highlights of my life.
Oh, yeah, no, the vaults in New Vegas are really good. I think there's one control vault which was taken over by the Fiends, so it's not a control vault anymore. But all the rest of them had, like, weird rules and stuff that come up, so you can kind of explore them and see them. And they're full of loot. Which is good, because as we've noted, the economy in New Vegas fucking sucks.
Yeah, but, like, back onto the morality system and video games, like, I think sometimes the best morality ones I've seen in games are the ones where it's not like an action-adventure game. It's one basically, the story type games. So like Life is Strange, Wolf Among Us, all the Telltale games.
One system I'll say great at that, Dragon Age. The companion system, like
Dragon Age, yeah, actually Dragon Age, yeah.
Because how your companions view you is how that's entirely based, and you can tell. If Morrigan approves of something, you just did something neutral evil, buddy. You just did something.
Well, see, that's why I like
selfish and not selfless and not necessarily pragmatic.
Well, see, I think that the thing that Dragon Age did is they made your actions reflect upon your party members. Mm-hmm. So like how you acted made you closer. Like it put you what's the word I want to use? It put you into perspective. It's like I see how this person is, and they like what I'm doing, so I must be this kind of person. They didn't just give you a fucking bar with red with blue and red,
and then it's like
which is always it's always blue and red. It's always blue and red.
Well, that's a BioWare thing, and that's because I think that started with KOTOR, where blue was light side and red was dark side.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars is another case where you can, if you're playing a Force sensitive, you can kind of let morality actually exist as a thing, because we see that people on the dark side are not happy, functional, socialized people. They're fucking crazy, and they look fucked up. And this is a discussion I've had many times talking about Star Wars RPGs. But no, using the dark side is bad. It is a bad thing. I think that we like this about the Star Wars game by FFG, that you can totally play a dark side character. Normally in like the West End D6 system and in D20 systems, you go all the way dark, you're done. Your character becomes an NPC, you're done. Get a new character sheet. So in FFG, it's completely playable, which I think is good. That's a good thing to have. It's still like, hey, no, guess what? If you do evil shit, especially wielding the Force, you are attuned to a greater cosmic energy. That comes back to you. You're not a good person.
Nope.
And I remember one person was kind of upset. There was a Force and Destiny adventure that has like a plot hook to like helping rebels or not helping them, and you like get conflict for selling them out to the Empire. And somebody's like, "It's bullshit. You can totally help the Empire as a motivation." My response to this was, I mean, it's a little heavy-handed because it is, but that happens a lot with like pre-generated adventures. You have to do stricter stuff. But think about it this way: the Empire, the Galactic Empire, is actively a dark side organization. On the meta level, you know it's run by the dark side. It's run by the Sith, and it employs dark side adepts, Inquisitors, to hunt down Force and Destiny player characters. If you are doing something to aid the Empire, you are not doing something out of the good of your heart, even if you like them. You are directly aiding a dark side organization. That's conflict.
Yeah, that's how conflict works.
But I have interesting opinions on the conflict system after running a couple years altogether of FFG RPGs, probably all told. So I have personal views about how that mechanic works.
I still liked it. Still made me scratch my head sometimes, as I've told people. To Cat, completely trigger happy, completely blows up things. 100% light side.
It's the randomness aspect I think that's weird sometimes, but
oh yeah.
But I think ultimately, I still do think that Taket was a light side paragon, because you ultimately did always do the quote unquote right thing. Like you struggled with your weakness to stuff, but when it came to like people and living things, you were never malicious or sadistic. You were just like, well, these guys are in my way, and I need the most efficient way to get them out of my way without, everybody on my team dying. And that's
usually
just how it worked out.
Involved explosives.
Uh-huh.
Good times. But back to an earlier point, I said, the choose your own path games, I said, most Telltale games.
Yeah, I was about to say, Telltale style. X will remember this.
Yeah. It's, those are good because, as I said, you basically just make little choices along the way, and that shapes your path, and you just have a myriad amount of ways. They give you more shades of gray to choose your path, and unfortunately, I don't think that's a thing that can really be done in bigger games, just because in Telltale games and Life is Strange, that is the focus of the game. That is the overall basis of the game, is for you to make choices.
It's just it's all about choices and decisions, though in Life is Strange you have the very fun ability to rewind it.
Yeah, but they still bring that in, because, I was thinking about it, you can probably get through most of Life Life is Strange without using that ability.
No, it's just you either have to suck it up when you pick a wrong answer, or you go with your gut all the time, and you live life as a normal person. Unfortunately for me, I was like,
no.
No, I have the superpower to learn from the future. I'm gonna do it because I don't want to be an asshole, basically.
And see, here's the interesting thing: like Max was a complete social introvert at the beginning of the game. By using that, like abusing that rewind power, she becomes like the most socially engaged person. Like in my playthrough, she became the most socially engaged. She made friends with everybody.
Right, because and that's the thing you can do, because you can go back and forth, kind of. You can talk to people. You can even see stuff, and then you can turn that back to another influence point and be like, yeah, no, you can relate to people without having to go through all the trouble of relating to people, basically.
Yeah, you don't have to spend like weeks at a time, getting places. It's like, oh, let me talk to this person. All right, let me rewind this. Now I know this fact about you. Now we're friends. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was like actually pretty interesting, because I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But all at the same time, it's all like, man, I really changed Max's character from the beginning.
Hey, by the way, if you're curious about Life is Strange, that was actually our first episode of Video Game Book Club. You can find it. You can actually hear the elusive Ron. That's what we started a Video Game Book Club for, was because we were like, hey, all of Life is Strange is free on PS Plus, and Ron was like, hey, I've played that, and then we were like, fuck yeah, let's all play Life is Strange. I streamed it all. Sometimes my audio got fucked up, and I had to eventually turn sound off, because that's another rant I could go on about fucking music companies, YouTube, and video games.
Yeah.
I've tweeted about this. Just, I want to say that, I can say this. The actual music industry, all the corporations and stuff behind it have got to be like the biggest and most disgusting parasitic insects you can think of. Whatever that is to you, that's those guys. Artists, I totally understand the struggle for creativity and like the need for a support system to get shit out there. Like, that's really important. I feel that as a creative. But oops, dropped something.
Whoops.
Which picked up, yeah. It was close to the microphone. But no, like, just, oh my god, they bullied YouTube into this fucking algorithm system, and it's so awful, and somebody should be like, well, then shouldn't you be mad at YouTube? And I'm like, I mean, I'm not happy with how it works, but at the same time, what the fuck else could they do? Because all these record companies are like, oh my god, your servers are stealing our music. You're cutting into our profits. Never mind that we live in the era of iTunes and Google Music and shit, and it doesn't fucking matter because you can buy every song for like 99 cents. There's no actual need to pirate music if you have money to spend at all. It's just super easy. But oh my god, they're so fucking annoying. And they're annoying about dumb shit. I'm pretty sure all the artists who wrote all the old-timey music that's in BioShock, they gotta be fucking dead or retired, right? Why are the rights holders harshing our buzz on videos that are not only not monetized, but that we can't even monetize right now? And they're like, oh yeah, we gotta put in the automatic rhythmic claim. And then I protest some of these claims, and they're like, yeah, no, it's not fair use. Fuck you, we still hold the rights. I'm like, god damn it. Oh, it hurts me a lot. Like, I have made fair use claims against Capcom for video strikes, because some of my Okami streams, I'm like, hey, no, I'm talking over these cutscenes, right? Like, it's not just me sharing your cutscene videos. It's okay. And Capcom was like, oh, it's fine then. Okay, we'll release the claim. We manually reviewed it. Music companies are just so shitty.
Well, as I said, like, I'm pretty sure, like, music companies, like, they take that hard line because, like, you remember the fucking 90s and the aughts.
My brother had Kazaa, yes.
Yeah. It's all like, pirating music was...
Oh, yeah, no, when the internet happened, that turned into, like, a huge thing.
That turned into a huge thing. So, I mean, I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate
No,
here,
I mean, I get why they're like that. I just feel like we exist in a world where they could relax a little. They could roll that back, right? Like, they've still got all their special laws passed, like DMCA and all that.
Yeah.
Like, they could be more relaxed about what they think is quote-unquote theirs. Because a lot of the times, it's not even the actual... It's not like the artist claims it. It's like the record label, which is like, hey, we represent this artist. Fuck you. You're using their music. I'm like, God, I'm not even using their music.
Yeah,
the guys who made BioShock music, they gave you money so they could use their music.
Yeah.
So video game developers, if you're out there, stop paying people to use their music. They're just selfish with it. Make them pay you to use their music. You're giving free advertising.
What was I gonna say? Let's see here. I was talking
devil's
about.
advocate a little.
Oh, I'm saying basically what. As I said, this is the problem with a lot of corporations and a lot of big names is they are slow to adapt to new things. Like, you see this in politics, you see this in major corporations. They have a way that works, they want to stick with it, and they'll go down with the ship keeping to this way. It's one of the most annoying things.
Yeah, well, it's because now we're going to get, like, we're going to roll back from morality into... actually, it's funny, I should have said this earlier. I was gonna joke that maybe we should establish the rule of no religion, no politics on WhatsApp. Which we kind of should stick to, but at the same time, I can talk philosophy. And I am one of those people who thinks that large human institutions are intrinsically rigid, and that's bad, because rigidity is stagnation, and you die. That is...
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I don't agree that... I'll say this. Evolution, to me, is not a political or religious topic. It is a scientific topic. What we learned from Survival of the Fittest is that if you stagnate, you die. You go extinct. Mm-hmm. This applies to other areas of our life. So... Well,
because, our social order is constantly changing. It is constantly evolving, and we, as a social group, social construct, need to evolve with it.
Yeah, social constructs need to change. Everything's social constructs.
Yeah, just take the past, 5 to 6 years. We've had the big wave in feminism. We've had, gender and sexuality issues come up. These LGBT are all rights. Constant moving things. And you as a person have to change your views and beliefs in accordance with this, or you get left behind, and then people are looking at you funny, being all like, what's with this racist prick, or whatever.
And we'll say this. We know those people still exist. Yeah. They definitely do. Some people refuse to change. Mm-hmm. Either you're just too old and you're set in your ways, and we have to wait for you to die, which is... it's probably rude of me to say, but it's true. Oh, yeah. Or just you grew up in an environment where you're not exposed to it and stuff like that. But at the same time, we should, people probably might call us back on this, but I'm pretty sure from talking to you, we're pretty accepting about everything and everybody on a personal level. Yeah. Talking about philosophy, I'm of the opinion that what other people do with their lives, so long as it's not affecting me and it's not like they're outwardly hurting other people, none of my fucking business.
I'm kind of basically the same thing. It's as long as what you do does not hurt someone else or yourself, do whatever, be into whatever. Yeah, it's I do not judge.
You are a human being who is equipped with agency. Wherever, we can talk about where you get that agency, but you have agency. You are allowed to make choices in your life. Mm-hmm. I don't follow a fully deterministic view, everything is determined by your biology, because, oh my god, people can ignore the fuck out of their biology to do dumb stuff. People have died from not eating because they want to play World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. But
again, that's a choice.
Yeah, that's a choice you made. You have an agency, and I think that everybody should be able to employ their agency so long as they're not hurting anybody else's agency.
Now, I will say, sometimes you may have difficulty employing your agency, because that's another thing that's been getting, the big upswell in mental health issues.
Yeah, there's that. But there's also, I think, just... Some people take the agency thing a little too far. They're like, I can do anything. Or some people think, oh, you can't actually do it. No, you are physically capable of making
not black and white.
It's all shades of gray. Anything. That doesn't mean that thing is going to be
as a
easy
human
for
voice.
You can you can look up at a mountain and go, I'm going to climb that fucking mountain. That doesn't magically happen.
Doesn't mean you should go do it immediately.
I think that... I'll include... I'm pretty sure you and me are the same generation, even though we're 5 years apart. I'm pretty sure.
I think, we're still... I think we're both millennials.
Yeah, we're both millennials. But that was something I don't know. You didn't actually go to college, right?
I did an online college, and I dropped out after a year because ADD.
Yeah, that would really suck with online classes. I have thoughts about online education because I did a lot of my bachelor's that way, and that is when my ability to do schoolwork tanked.
Yeah,
I graduated with honors for my associates. My capstone class to pass and get my BS was a D. So, yeah, my academic skills took a big dump because of online courses. But anyway.
Yeah, so I was taking classes in business management, so I was doing a lot of stuff, but started getting into the higher courses, couldn't keep my attention, and I dropped out. Now I still have like a $13,000 debt I'm still trying to pay off.
Rip.
Go loan.
But yeah, but that was the thing, right? Somebody probably encouraged you. You have to go to college. You can be whatever you want to be, but you got to go to college and get a good job.
Yeah.
Like, shit's
Yeah,
not
the big
magic.
college push of the... Yeah. Like, honestly, I'm probably more successful now without my college degree than I would, like, if I had a business management degree. I don't know what the fuck I'd do with it. It's like, yeah, I could probably run my own business. With what money?
Exactly.
Yeah. A degree does not print money for you.
Also,
You
hey,
have
guess
to-
what? Running businesses aren't easy. My parents owned a business for quite some time. Guess what? It was a flooring and cabinets and countertops business just before the housing bubble collapsed. So they don't own a business anymore. They had to declare bankruptcy.
Real talk though, like if we ever do like start making millions, I'm gonna open up an anime cafe.
Sure.
It's gonna happen.
Just slap the channel brand on it.
Hell
Good.
yeah, I will.
That's fine. That'll be your thing.
But it's
but yeah,
like,
no, like
yeah, but
that's a thing that I think was incorrectly communicated to our generation. There's lots of like,
yeah,
everybody's special in their own special way, and you can do whatever you want. I think our previous generations, like our parents, got too much of the you need to work hard, so they relaxed on that a little with us. My parents did a decent job. Like
Yeah.
they still conditioned me to be like, no, you need to save your own money to buy things, right? And like, don't believe everything you see on TV. But even so, there was still a certain amount of like, hey, you can just do whatever. You need to go to college. I mean, I liked college. I think everybody should try college just to see if it's for them, because it's a great experience if you can do it. At the very least, you learn something about yourself, but like, not necessarily is college.
I'm actually
helping you
saying something funny. Is like actually, you know, what I always tell people is an amazing. Let you teach you about yourself. Being fucking homeless.
That's also another thing. There are lots of experiences that can really teach you about yourself.
Yeah.
But not
that's
all
the
of them.
thing.
Not all of them are for everyone.
Again, agency.
Yeah, but I think our generation missed a little bit that like you can do whatever you want that you set your mind to if
Like,
you
we're talking
work
about, like,
hard for
everyone
it and
knows
develop
this.
the skills for it.
Yeah, everyone knows this, but the millennial generation really had it rough. They were literally caught in between two major changes, and so we kind of got shafted in both of them because we were basically at the tail end of you could do a lot of stuff with a little bit of money, and then we had a depression. Like, I don't care what anyone calls it, we had an economic depression for like
I think there's like a technical term that how it's not a literal depression, but it was a fucking depression. It wasn't like a Great Depression. The economy did something bad. And
yeah,
it
the housing
fucked a lot of
bubble
people up
collapsed.
for people.
Yeah, the housing bubble collapsed, the .com bubble collapsed, and then there was this big scramble from jobs. We had the war, which started sucking up more funds, throwing people out there, and then like
and also we
early
can say this, some wars have better returns than others. Let's say
the Iraq War did not.
Iraq, Vietnam, neither
Like
of those
World War
ended
One and
well.
Two,
World War Two,
1 and 2. That was
one
fucking great
one
for
did
the
not.
U.S.
One was the
economy.
lost generation. Like that was when people had like PTSD and were like, we don't know what the fuck this is. We're calling it shell shock. These people are just fucked up now.
Yeah.
But World War II was like the GI Bill. Everybody came home. There were all these jobs because there was nobody fucking here except the women to take the jobs. And even then, like, that was also a good thing. Let's say that. Let's not like, women taking jobs is bad. No, don't put shit on me, internet. I know how you work. I see this all the time on Twitter. People who are ostensibly of the same political and philosophical alignments keep taking shots at each other because they're not following the exact formula for how you should say stuff.
Like I said, World War II was actually like probably the precursor to like the first wave of modern feminism because women were like, hey, we can do this shit that men can. So no, fuck off all y'all.
No, it was good for everybody. It led for greater independence for women because they were in jobs and they were doing career stuff. It created a big industrial boom because we like did so much with mass production, and then there were all these
it's called the Industrial Revolution for a reason.
Companies that got funded because of the war effort who were able to like turn that into like cars and other shit. There was all this war research, and then all these soldiers came home and were like, stuff like the GI Bill, and were like, hey, let's just go to school or let's get a job. Other shit did not turn out that way. I don't think we've learned anything technologically out of Iraq, Afghanistan. Other than just, hey, all that shit we built in the Cold War works. Drones. Drones is what we learned about. We developed drones.
It's like we keep making like small improvements to things because, you know, our computers are getting smaller, machines are getting smarter, but we haven't had
We're gonna build that fucking power armor someday.
Yeah,
I've been seeing that Raytheon prototype for like 10 years. It still runs on like a tiny gas engine. I think batteries are the thing we need to fix, by the way, in technology.
You see like a whole bunch of theories and things being tested, but like I don't think we've had like a major breakthrough.
I think batteries are literally the only thing that's holding us back from a lot of shit. Like batteries is keeping electric cars from like super breaking out. It's keeping like certain military tech. It's what's stopping cybernetics. Because we can do a version of direct neural interface with no implant rejection. There's just we don't have anything to power the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But like like working man-machine interface with like no implant rejection and stuff, that works. That's a thing that happens. Just like I said, the batteries just don't exist yet.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of cool shit just waiting to explode out there, but last piece, literally missing the last piece.
And that's just how technology works.
And usually wartime is the thing where this last piece falls into place. Hasn't happened.
No, it's because guess what? We built for the Cold War. We built for the Soviets to come rolling through Europe. Only that didn't happen. And then we started fighting in caves in desert countries who have been fighting with each other for longer than we've existed.
Yeah, I ain't gonna win that fight.
Yeah, that's a different, like, that's definitely a political topic, which I don't think we need to get into, like, the complexities of the war. It's a thing that happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, guys, like, I may be a college dropout, but, you know, I can, like, read and research and have opinions. And
also, you were in the Navy. You were a military man, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, man, I was a part of, I was in the part of, I made the snipers, evacuated Bahrain. I've done some shit.
Yeah, no, so you get a certain amount of first-hand experience with this type of stuff.
I will say, though, I love fucking Dubai. I would go again, 10 out of 10.
Well,
go to the rich part of Dubai.
It's because Dubai's, like the actual, like, city of Dubai is, like, super invested and built up. It's like a future city.
It is like, see, I went to Dubai when they were building the future building, so I saw the constructions. They have, like, billboards, what the building was going to look like. I'm like, what is this future bullshit? Why can't I live here? Fucking oil barons.
Yeah.
Princes and all that great shit.
I
went to the Emirates Mall.
We went really, like, deep and philosophical this episode.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good second episode.
People probably like that. I'm going to say real quick, though, Emirates Mall, fucking amazing. They have an indoor ski mounting. I went skiing in the middle of the... I went snow skiing in the middle of the fucking desert.
Whoa.
Like, how ridiculous
is that? Living in the future. You can ski indoors, and you can fit a supercomputer in your pocket. That thing that 100 years ago took up a whole room, back pocket. That, by the way, that's the miniaturization of stuff. That's, if you think about it, that's fucking crazy. Literally 100 years ago, computers were a room with ticker tape and magnetic reels. Now it is a thing that fits in your pocket, and it's better than that room.
I guess that's where a lot of our technological strides have been recently, is more miniaturization, more processing power, all that stuff.
Well, yeah, we're finally breaking into consumer VR. I remember when I was a kid, VR was like, ooh, that's gonna be the next big thing. Only, like, just now, I'm an adult man. Consumer VR is starting to be a thing, and even then, there's no killer app yet. Nobody's written the perfect VR thing. We've just gotten a lot of really good tech demos.
Yeah, I'm waiting for AR personally. Give me it.
I'm sad. Levels. Microsoft premiered the HoloLens years ago. I'm like, oh my god, augmented reality is going to happen. It's going to be like the Google Glass, only it's going to work. No, not yet. Nothing yet.
Nope.
Which sucks because AR is the future. VR is an entertainment. AR is going to be your everything one of these days.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's just because we played a lot of Close Face, but oh my god, I'm really glad I played a lot of Close Face because that introduced me to a lot of technological concepts I wasn't super aware of as a young person, and I can follow them and be like, no, guys, AR is going to be fucking huge when it hits because you'll be able to get all your shit. All your stuff that's on a screen now, like on a phone or on your monitor or whatever, that's just going to be in your field of view. You're going to be able to look at other people and see what they're putting out there. Like, you know how you have your Twitter profile or your location tags and shit? That's just gonna be out there in like this AR world, and it's gonna be fucking nuts.
And I said, like, honestly, probably the biggest thing that's probably keeping you out is money.
Yeah.
Money,
There's
money,
nothing
money,
profitable about AR just yet.
Nope.
Hold on, I leaned back. I need to move my microphone towards me a little.
Because right now, the product technology is probably really expensive still, so they only be able to market it to a few select individuals, and it won't go anywhere.
Also, I don't think you can do AR porn. It's a funny thing. Porn has totally been the first adopter of everything because it's still not socially acceptable for some fucking reason.
That's a whole other subject I can fucking get into.
Yeah, the puritanical nature of America, that's another thing. We have some ramblings about social order we could probably do sometime. Like, we talked about, like, the housing crisis. We could talk about how the desire for houses and cars is really fucked up in America.
Like I said, despite how we are, like, both of us are, like, really, like, what's the word I want to say? Experienced. Because I don't want to say I'm an intellectual. Like, if you see me around, you won't think, Lucky's really smart. Lucky has just seen and done a lot of things, so I've formed opinions and stuff on that. But I'm the intellectual. I've studied a lot of stuff. As I said, we started. What did we start? What did we start with this? We started with literally you talking about your mic.
Well, we started talking about microphone, but then we broke into New Vegas, where I was like, "Yeah, I'm just having a fun time fucking around in the desert, picking coyote tobacco and honey mesquite, so I can brew wasteland coffee." Because guess what? If you put coffee in a video game, I will drink the shit out of it, like I would in real life. That's what I would do. If I was in Fallout New Vegas, I would brew wasteland coffee, drink it constantly. I'd super have the jitters. I'm not gonna get addicted to chems. Chems are stupid. Once again, criminal justice major. Yeah, drugs are a dumb idea. Always dumb. When I did my forensics class, they taught us about how to look for drug evidence, and they basically taught us how you make crystal meth. That taught me that I never want to make or consume crystal meth. You put batteries in that shit. Literal batteries.
Don't ask Omega how to make crystal meth. He probably can't.
It's not. But like they didn't tell us like the proportions or anything, but they're like, look for plastic soda bottles which contain this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, that's really nasty. You combine shit like detergents and batteries and make something out of it that you consume? That's just dumb. That's real dumb. I'm sure people who take crystal meth probably don't feel like it's dumb at the time, but it's dumb. Let me just tell you now.
You see them in their overdoses, and you're like, that's dumb.
Heroin? Dumb. Cigarettes? Probably dumb. Marijuana? A little bit dumb. It's not as bad as, like, tobacco and other products, but it depends on what you're doing. Like, it's like drinking. Drinking a little bit is probably not dumb, but if you drink a lot, you're gonna do dumb shit.
Yeah, man, alcohol is a great sedative.
Oh yeah, no, it's a downer.
Personally, I like to have like a hard cider before bed. It helps me sleep.
That's
why I use it for.
In case you don't know, alcohol is basically a downer. It's a suppressant. It puts you down. Like, it lowers your social inhibitions a little. It lowers your system, gets you a little down, so you can relax and stuff. That's why I said, like, a little bit, probably not dumb. A lot, dumb.
I think I've been roaring drunk twice in my life, and I've like regretted it each time. No, Once was just because I was young and dumb. Second time is because I didn't understand like how much alcohol I was actually drinking at the time.
Honestly, like we just talked about caffeine. I heard you pop your Monster in the background. That came across.
Yeah. Dude, I totally did that on purpose.
Listen, I like caffeine because it's an upper. It's a stimulant. I also know that like drinking like 5 Red Bulls or like drinking a 24-hour energy, was it like a 5-hour energy and a big gulp of Mountain Dew or whatever that famous like Amazon review is, where a guy like double dips and can like see forever. That's dumb. That's not a good thing. Doesn't matter how much energy you need. That's dumb. Don't do dumb things, kids.
Ooh. Oh my goodness! I remember like when I was in the Navy, they had this thing where you can go out. Like they had like a game room where you can just buy like Mountain Dews. And I bought like fucking 12 of them. I drank them all in like an hour. My sweat smelled of Mountain Dew. I was visibly vibrating in my seat. I was having a minor seizure constantly.
That's the Mountain Dew trying to leave your body. It can't be contained.
It cannot be contained. I vow never to do that again. I still drink energy drink. I'm gonna tell you, people. Like Lucky works a full-time job. I work 40 hours a week now. My hours are midnight to 8:30 a.m. We are currently recording this at 1:43 p.m. So I've still been up. I should be in bed. I'm not, because I like honestly, like, I really do like talking to Omega, because while we're like, there's actually a good saying for this. It says, "Great minds think alike, but fools rarely differ." That's the full line of the saying. And while I can like get in line a lot with Omega, we both still have very contrasting views on things, and we can discuss them at length.
And that's how we started the show, actually. We have a slight difference based on our personal experience about what we think about that stuff. And that's okay. I mean, I don't feel like I gotta fight you about it.
No.
And honestly, like, at the same time, I think we agree at points, too.
Yeah,
we just have different ways of phrasing them, too.
Yeah, it's like... Because that's, like, as like I mentioned, because, like, everyone has an opinion.
Mm-hmm. Opinions are like assholes, everybody's got them, as my dad likes to say.
Mm-hmm. And a person's opinion is based on their personal experiences and knowledge. So what one person may believe may not be what you believe, but they may believe it for different reasons than what other people believe. Because humans are not simple things. They really are not.
And this is something I kind of want to say, like, especially these days. We have a weird habit of labeling ourselves and letting people label us, and then that's the end-all, be-all. Like, oh, I jump into this box full of other people, and that's just how it is. I hate labeling. That's not how it is. You are... See, this like, is it's dumb to say this, but you are actually all individual and unique snowflakes. Like, no one human's experience is exactly like yours, so you can be similar, and that's really cool. And I think the capacity of human empathy is the ability to realize that not every step of your journey of life is the same as some people, but some parts are similar, and you guys can relate to that. Like, not everybody has the same struggle. That's fucking true. Like, that's just how it is. Yeah. And some people's struggles depend on where you're born, depend on what you're born like, you know. But, like, everybody has a struggle. That's why we should be together and, like, commune. And some of the disconnect comes from the idea that you refuse to accept that other people have struggles. That's wrong. Like, no, everybody's got a struggle. Everybody's got a path they're trying to walk in life. And we talked about this earlier. You can choose to try and do whatever you want. It just doesn't magically happen. Life's hard. Yeah.
So, like, going back to the whole labels and boxes things, like, I hate labels. When people, like, ask me questions, like, about my orientation, I just give them my name, and it's all like, so it'd be like, what's your religion? Lucky. What's your gender preference?
Hey, guess what I say when people ask me that? I say, I'm non-religious.
Yeah.
That's not me.
It's like, because I hate being labeled.
I don't like to talk about what you just said, you know, we don't want to talk about religion. We don't really want to get deep in religion or politics, because that's a sensitive topic to a lot of people, partly for this reason. But I don't like to talk about political affiliation, mostly because it's really hard to describe me without using a label, and which have baggage, which is dumb. Yeah. It's just how it is. You can't talk about politics without people's preconceptions getting in the way, which is kind of where a lot of our problems come from. We have a lot of associations that such and such groups are like this, and they must act this way. That's not true. Humans can act any way they want. Like, you should give people the freedom to act how they want and how they feel is natural to them, and you should respect other people's opinions that exist and accept that whatever they do is a thing. Right? Like, that's to them, they feel that that's a valid output. Now, some people have outputs that are destructive and unhealthy, and we can be like, guys, Nazis, you should not oppress everybody. That's bad.
Please stop.
Stop that. That's not a healthy way to outlook your life. But we should also accept that clearly something is going on in these people's lives, and they have come to this conclusion. Maybe we should also attack that and not just be like, you can just punch a Nazi.
And see, that's one of those major things I like to point out, because, you know, Godwin's Law, every conversation goes to Hitler in some fashion. Like, it's like, things happen for a reason. Like, people don't just sit up one day and be like, I'm going to be evil. It's like, you need to understand a person and where they're coming from to truly understand them. You can't just look at a label and say, like, all right, I know everything I need to know.
This is something I learned from a young age from Ender's Game, which is probably controversial because Orson Scott Card has, like, he has religious and political views, which people sometimes find weird, but he still wrote a real good book. One of the things that was key to Ender's Game, besides just non-lateral thinking, the enemy's gate is down, is that to destroy your enemy, to beat your enemy, you have to fucking understand him. That's very true. If you actually want to win against somebody, you have to understand why they're doing what they're doing, why they came to this point and all that stuff. And that's just, yeah. And there's not a lot of understanding right now some of these days. Too many people, like we said, they like to just slap a label on something or hop in a box with a whole bunch of people and say, this is my life now. I am an X person.
I blame the internet for this partly, just because we can so quickly share information now.
Yeah.
It's so easy for people.
People have not pegged on how to use that information tool correctly yet, I don't think.
Yeah. No.
Because, like, the internet's amazing, and it does amazing things.
Oh, yeah.
Some people are not using it to its fullest.
Here's the thing. The internet, like most of human inventions, is a tool.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad depends on the person who is using it.
And unfortunately, some people use tools to be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, kind of what this ultimately boils down to, at least for me, is that it's a lot of this labeling and box thinking is basically philosophical laziness. You're like, fuck, I don't want to think too hard about what my life is like or how my individual problems are. I just want to jump in with other people who kind of understand what I'm going through and just, we're all the same. We're all going to be the same together, and that's just how it is. Those people are going to be not like us, and they don't understand us.
Yeah.
And that just
this is, again, one of the reasons why, like I say, I reached like a semi-form of enlightenment. I like to call it my false enlightenment, being enlightened, because I was just disconnected from all electronics. I had to talk to people. I had to walk places. You know, I had to communicate. Like, I think that's something like this is old man lucky here, but communicating with someone face to face, it's something that's I'm thinking is quickly losing its place in our times.
Yeah, some people have. I mean, personally, I have a hard time with that, but that's just because I don't think it's necessarily an internet thing. It's just how my life shook out. I have a little bit of like social anxiety, so like talking to new people or interacting with people in like large crowds, that attacks my anxiety a little. So I'm not at my best, but I can suck it up and internalize that to act like a regular person. And hey, guess what? We want to talk about social conditioning. Funny story. My mother's actually British. She just renewed her passport recently. They have a slightly different social view than ours, even though she came over here when she was still in her teens. But she got all that formative stuff. So manners, super impressed upon me. Politeness, just you know, your P's and Q's, and you know, say hello, thank people, get the door for people. Like a lot of that stuff was deeply imprinted on me. And even though I don't like interacting with people in a lot of like open outside settings without some kind of like personal connection, like I've never met Lucky physically. We could go and we could shake hands, we could sit down somewhere and we'd be talking like this right away. Because I know Lucky, which is a beautiful thing about some internet communication. You can really get to know people without having to physically interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
Which some people aren't able to cross those over. But if I just meet a stranger out in the street, I will be like, God, I really don't want to interact with this person, but I'm not going to show that to them. That's fucking rude.
See, that's how I am at work, because like I guess I've been at my job for like a few weeks. I don't talk to anybody. I don't talk to anybody. If someone talks to me, I'll strike up the conversation. But as soon as like that conversation like drifts off, I'm gone. It's like I don't do conversation well. It's like I have to like lurk around and learn about a person, and be like, all right,
well, yeah,
how am I going to plan this attack?
I said earlier in the show, you get some kind of ADD or something.
Oh yeah, no, like I got a small cocktail of mental because I was born like I've had ADD since I was young. I was on medication. Oh my god, like having ADD in like the 90s. Oh my god, they gave you so much shit. Like they gave you so many different medications.
Stop. Hey, here's a funny way that we're actually, once again building similarities. So in class, I was a bit of a troublemaker. I chewed stuff. I should not fondle my mic stand because that'll make metal noises. I would like get super bored because I'm a quick learner, especially reading based. You give me something to read, I read it. If I can put it to work right away, I remember it, I understand it. And even then, fact-based recall, I'm great at that. Just facts just go somewhere in the back of my brain and they stay there and they come back all the time and like, why the fuck do I remember that? So at least in public school at the time, in early grades, there's a lot of repetition because some kids don't learn, and a lot of kids I think don't learn that way. You have to like drill them repeatedly to basically build the muscle memory, as it were, the mental muscle memory to like do long division or whatever the fuck. So some of my teachers thought I was ADD, and my mother said to them, we'll get him tested for ADD if you test him for your gifted program. I wasn't diagnosed with ADD then, so I'm pretty sure I don't have any noticeable form of that. But I did test fairly well high IQ'd at the time, and I went into gifted stuff. And hey, guess what? When you gave me something that was quote unquote on my level, little Omega actually was interested and would sit down and would focus on stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I was totally into gifted programs too. I remember I was in
Honestly,
third grade.
Thinking
I had
about
college.
it, I definitely don't think I have a disorder level problem with attention deficit, which is an important thing. I took Psych 101 also. There's a very fine definition between just you've got some weird stuff going on in your life and an actual, honest to God, disorder with a capital D.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I like to think some people, we like to armchair diagnose, I think, and also buzzwords happen. You're a little older than me, so you probably remember this. Remember when OCD was the buzzword?
Oh my goodness. You see, here's the thing. I'm so used to the buzzword. I still use the term OCD. I'm OCD, even though I'm not actually OCD.
No. And before that, I think what people said was anal retentive, which, by the way, is a Freudian thing. So that used to be the code word for people are a little uptight about some stuff and they're really finicky and detail oriented at times. And then it moved into, oh, I bet you're just ADD for a while. That was the big craze. Now it's autism. It's are you autistic? Mm-hmm. Some people are actually some level of autism spectrum, because it's, hey, guess what? It's a spectrum disorder. There's lots of different versions of it. Some people are the actual symptoms of that disorder, but some people are just, they're wound a little tight about stuff. Maybe they're a little literal. Maybe they're not used to interacting with people in certain social circumstances, so they don't pick up on subtleties.
Some are very direct. Some are missing some crucial social cues.
Yeah.
Both of my brothers are autistic. One's actually high functioning. One's low functioning. So, but yeah, my high functioning brother, he's only 19. He's working he is super focused on becoming an animator. He does nothing else but working on animating. My low functioning brother, he can barely speak. It's the comparison is huge.
And those are both on the spectrum. And I think that's how people are for a lot of things. I would argue that I've been obsessive compulsive about some stuff in my life. But do I have a disorder? No. So maybe I've been attention deficit about stuff in my life too. But would I claim that I am ADD? No. I also don't want to claim I have some kind of anxiety disorder because I've never been diagnosed. I can tell you for a fact I have fucking anxiety, because I do. I get fucking anxiety attacks sometime. I had a small anxiety attack when my microphone didn't work earlier, which, interestingly enough, almost always is something gastrointestinal. When I have an anxiety attack, I either feel like I want to throw up, I feel like I want to eat, or I feel like I need to go take a shit. I don't know why. That's just how it manifests for me. And then sometimes when I'm super stressed and then I stop being stressed, I just crash. I get tired.
Oh, yeah. See, my ADD is most ADD people have their one major focus that, surpasses it. For me, it's a good story, whether that's in a game, a book, something. If something that has a good story, I will zone in on that. Because it's kind of with Omega. Third grade, because I'm bringing this back because I want to say this. Third grade, I did the testing, found out I had a college level reading level. Third grade, and they're we should probably bump him up a bit.
Nice. I think that's better than me. I think I was only when they tested me in I was homeschooled by third grade. That's a whole different story about how Omega became homeschooled.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think it was first or second grade where they tested me, and it was it was eighth or it was low high school level was where I was at. I was but I was easily reading third grade books, and also I should point out all of my the IQ or whatever intelligence tests, all of that is verbal. Math, I have always been decidedly average at, possibly below average. Same. My brain is just not wired for mathematics.
Verbal and written word stuff, phenomenal. Once you start getting into equations, you lose me. That's how that's how it was with my online courses, psychology, the humanitarian things did fucking fabulously. As soon as they started bringing in economics, statistics, and math, it's I'm done.
I took the ACT to get in college. My ACT math scores were so shitty, I had to take a catch-up course. They were your math is bad. You need to take a college-level math course to, make sure that you can do the actual math credits you need for your degree. Which was an algebra course, which I passed with a D.
Like
Just luckily I
algebra,
went to
it was
college,
like
but yeah,
probably
no.
the last point where I
Hey,
actually understood anything about mathematics.
You want to know what 2 math classes I took to actually get my associate's degree? Topics in math and statistics and probability. Statistics and probability, I did fucking
Your
amazing.
horror stories about.
Because guess what? Stats and probability, that's real shit. Like, if you're figuring out the probability for something, that's a physical thing. Like, if you figure out the probability for a die, that's a thing you can, like, see and touch. The statistics are the same. That's counting and organizing how you counted something.
Trig and calculus.
I never actually took trig. I think, like, I took some of my, like, math overview classes were, like, intro to trig stuff. That was that. But, hey, you want to talk about institutions being slow to learn? In college, they were still so fucking insistent. You had to memorize conversion tables, and you had to not use your calculator sometimes. Which I think is dumb.
Oh, no. No,
I have a very nice graphing calculator, which I still use for not graphing stuff. My mother thought it would help me understand high-level math better. It didn't, but it's very nice. But, yeah, not using calculators fucking sucks. That's dumb. Same with conversion tables. I don't have to remember how many inches are in a centimeter. I remember that it's like 2-something centimeters to an inch, and I could probably remember the exact thing if you pressed me. That doesn't matter. I can just go into Google and be like, Google, how many centimeters is 12 inches? And they're like, it's blue-boop. And I'm like, good, thank you.
But, yeah, talking about me, yeah, college level, reading level, basically, Omega, did you, like, when you were in school, did you ever do the accelerated reader program?
I'm pretty sure I did.
You know, where you, like,
we've talked about how your memory is bad. My memory is also bad, but it's all event-based. Fact stuff, I remember all the time. Events, fucking no idea. I don't remember what I did.
Because, like, I remember this because it's, like, one of my few pride points I have. But for the years I was in elementary school and middle school, like, consecutively, I would have the highest accelerator scores in the school. I would read that many books that no one in any grade would outshine me. It got to the point that when I was in middle school, kids would start paying me to take the test for them so they can get points on their own.
That's funny. Like, I had a similar experience once. I lived in a gated community for a while, and I was homeschooled at this point. But the kids next door still went to public school, so there were a couple times when my friend next door, he would be like, "Hey, I got to do like a book report. What's a good book?" Because I had like books lying around. He's like, "Tell me about this book." I didn't get paid for it, but like I helped a brother out and was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's about this and that." And he would write a stupid like 1-page paper because that's how public school works at like middle school level or late elementary.
Again, this showcases our alignment. Omega is chaotic good. He helped a friend out, even though he technically shouldn't have. Me, I helped someone out only when they paid me.
Yeah, see, that's a really good thing. Like, some people have questioned me on are you really a good person? No, I think I am, because, like, deep down, I've got that certain moralistic drive. Like, it's been imprinted on me that there are some things in life you should just do as being part of an okay person, not being a dickbag. Mm-hmm. See, I don't necessarily think that rules and laws are necessarily what dictate whether or not you're a dickbag.
Yeah,
that's some shit that people made up.
You see, like, I'm much more like I'm not afraid to admit it. I can say, like, D&D alignment, neutral evil character. I'm a very selfish person, but the thing is, I'm pragmatic.
That's the beautiful thing about neutral evil. Neutral evil is the ultimate pragmatic alignment. You just do stuff to get by as yourself. Unlike chaotic evil, which is where you're like, fuck everything.
Yeah. So it's like, I'll do what's in my best interest. And if that interest happens to align with what you're doing, we're gonna get along fabulously. Once our interests kind of peter off, well, guess what? I'm gone. Also, and I think that actually speaks a lot for how a lot of my social interactions go. When I become uninterested in a person, I just literally wander off. It's like I drift from
you're like ADD. You're like, my attention is no longer on you. I want to go do something else now.
Mm-hmm. Which is like this is like, you know, I'm gonna gush a little here, but this is like
complex beings.
I know, right? But this is like why I like value like my friendship with Omega so much, because he's like one of the few people, like him and Ron and all the others, that I have stayed with for more than a few years. Like, we've been like chatting online for what, like 6 years now?
Gotta be something like that, at least since I've been in college. Which I'm not afraid to say my real life age. I'm 25. I've been out of college 30. For a little bit, but yeah, no. And I've known Ron longer.
Yeah, it's been like a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so Omega's like, as I said, we're not like exactly the same. We have different things. It's interesting enough that we do stuff. We do stuff together. It's like, it keeps me entertained, so I stay invested in our friendship. Things stay fresh. And now we're running a YouTube show together. Yeah.
If nothing else, you can take from that I am an interesting person.
He is.
Which
GMs.
I'm honestly
we're trying to get
glad
that off the ground.
Hey, we can talk about that. We might do that this weekend. I don't know. We'll have to see if everybody else wakes up early enough to do something on Sunday.
It's got me more effective. Do I stay up? Because I usually
we'll
crash
have to see what the
around.
time is like.
Yeah.
Me, so long as I actually get up and I'm able to okay, is everybody gonna be okay while I eat and get coffee and stuff? Then yeah, we can roll. We can roll out. This week I didn't give them stats yet, but I gave major adversarial characters motivations, which is always fun. Which is an excuse for me to talk about how Genesis did their motivation system and how it's so fucking good. Because it is.
Yeah, let's stop with the heavy talks. Let's get into fun talks.
Well, we can kind of segue because we've talked about how people are complex.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis, I think, does for character design anyway, does a very simple way of handling that with motivations. Every character has and NPCs can sometimes have less or more depending on what you need. Like minions, they don't got any fucking motivations. They're just there because they're bit players in your story.
Hey, guess what? Mob mentality.
Yeah, well, that's perfect. Yeah, but so you can have up to 4, and they say for lesser NPCs who are not recurring, you should only give them strengths and flaws. Don't give them deep-seated desires, but the 4 systems is you have a desire, a fear, a strength, and a flaw. So desire is what's your underlying core motivation? Why does this character do anything? Fear is the opposite of that. It's what's the thing that keeps you moving that you're it's a negative impression. What motivates you in a negative way? And then strength is what would you say your character's strength is? What gives you the ability to do those things? Strengths can include wise or analytical or adaptive. And then flaw is what's your character flaw? Do you have some kind of recurring behavior you have to do? You have an addiction or something? Are you ignorant? Are you intolerant of a certain group? Are you shifty naturally? But it was so interesting to build these very organic characters who are ostensibly antagonists. These guys are going to fight you in giant robots, probably. Yeah! Possibly not outside of giant robots, which for some of them will go badly for you, because you guys don't really have out-of-suit combat skills. I think Ron's character
doesn't have combat suit skills at all. Well, I take that back. She has interface at 3. She can get in a giant robot and kick some ass.
Yeah, because I helped you. I wrote that melee and giant robots is either interface or melee.
Yeah.
Basically, it depends. Do you have extant melee skills, or is it just, can you make the giant robot kick its leg good?
Well, yeah, speaking of desires, I brought up my character to make sure I did them. But yeah, my character, her desire is belonging, her fear is humiliation, strength is independent, and flaw is timid. Did I actually explain my character before?
I think you talked about her a little, but I don't think we went in depth. We'll do, if we actually sit down and record this, we'll do, an actual, intro. So we probably
but basically my character is, yeah, but see, that's the thing I like about, these motivation systems, is, if you do them first, they kind of help you build who your character is.
Oh, yeah, no, before we talk about any of your backstory details, you gave me your 4 motivations, I'm I understand this character perfectly.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so great.
She's kind of a... Yeah, I kind of built her like an anime main character. I know it's kind of a dick move because we're playing a game with a whole bunch of animes, but remember, everyone is the protagonist of their own story. Mm-hmm. That's another thing people need to understand.
Also, that's a really, just in general, especially for this type of game that's modeling a genre, that's a great way to get instant investment, is to build it like it's a story that is going to be at least partially about you. Because guess what? You can have ensemble casts. So it's possible for there to be multiple main characters.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I basically built a girl who is she's not super secure about herself. She has some fears. She's not great at getting along with each other, but she still wants this place to belong to. And I basically formed that into her backstory, and I got a really good backstory. Omega literally had to say, man, okay, hold off. How about you save some of the badass moments for actually end game?
Yeah, that's what I was like, okay, you're gonna need to be able to do cool stuff on camera.
But it's And yes, I'm playing a girl because Lucky likes to, like, I literally alternate my gender for each game.
Yeah, it's fine. Also, I say this, like, we've talked about video games, like, especially with RPGs, a lot of the time I will play a female character because, hey, guess what? I'm a dude in real life. I generally know what wandering around doing dude stuff is like. I want to see if this game actually challenges me to learn new things and understand new experiences. Though also, I will say this, it's really funny. Somebody also once told me that how they played RPGs was they did the total opposite of what they thought those games expected you to do, which is for, like, fantasy RPGs is, like, a good human male fighter. So they always played chaotic evil female spellcasters.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very interesting, because that is true, I think. That can make you a very dynamic and possibly not expected character in a lot of the way these RPGs are set up, especially since we had that talk on morality. I think they talk about how that works in Mass Effect. Like, that's crazy if you play a biotic and you play a renegade. Oh, renegade ship are just scary. But anyway, you were saying something, Lucky?
No, I was thinking about that. Like, yeah, like, a lot of times you see female villains are usually, like, spellcasters. But I want to, like, say that harkens back to, like, mythology when if a woman was a spellcaster, she's probably about to fuck your shit up.
Well, yeah, no, and that's, like, some people you can say that, oh, that's, like, deep-seated societal roles. Kinda, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, a lot of our ancients came with the understanding that women might not be as physically impressive as men, and this is just statistically speaking true. Like, in general, women tend to have smaller body types; they have less muscle mass.
Yeah.
Except for, like, one point in your life, I think statistically, like, women have lower pain tolerance generally, except for that one time where your biology is like, no, don't worry, we'll take care of that for you. At which point they're, like, way better than men. Women tend to have, I think, it's something about the sharper spatial sense, like visual
it's something about like connections in your brain.
Yeah. Like, we have slightly different brain chemistry. That's a thing that happens. We should accept that we are slightly different. We're still humans, but we are also...
Oh, man, I could get so into fucking...
We have slightly different natures, and we need to accept that about ourselves.
Yeah.
We cannot be the
same.
Right.
We cannot be the same.
That's not how that works.
Yeah.
But, like...
Society needs to reflect that.
Our mythological impression of women is, like, no, the deep-seated mysteries... they are the masters of, like, fertility, life and death, usually. You get a lot of that with goddesses. Like, the mothering aspect is super important. Because, yeah, having a mother is kind of important from just a physical standpoint. You need to be born. Kind of important. And just, it's, like, there's a lot of those archetypes in there, which I think says a lot about what our ancient ancestors thought about the concept of a powerful woman. It's basically your mama. Your mama's the most powerful woman. She has mysteries that you don't understand. If you're a lady, she might teach you them. If you're a dude, you should just listen the fuck up when she tells you some shit. That's an important life lesson. If your mama's gonna sit you down and tell you some stuff, you should listen.
Mm-hmm.
I bumped my mouse rest on my table. That's a little sensitive. We'll work on that, guys. You probably didn't hear anything because I'm gonna noise cancel this. But with the motivations, I want to list you one character's motivations without any context. Now, technically, I should keep this a secret because you can, like, find them out in story, which, by the way, is a really great mechanic. The game is just like, yeah, especially in social checks, if you press on an opposing character's, like, strengths or fears or whatever, you can get bonuses out of it. Or if you go against the grain, they're like, it's harder. Which is, like, perfect. But, so, like, listen to this. This is an antagonistic character. They have the motivations. They have desire, ambition, fear, failure, strength, adaptable, and flaw, intolerance. You can probably tell a lot about what type of character there is just from that. And this hugely helped me write these characters' backstories, because I just had, like, high-level concepts. I'm like, okay, this person will have, like, these kind of skills and maybe this kind of background, and they'll operate this kind of machine with this role.
Yeah, the person seems very rigid. Like,
well, they're adaptable.
Military, like, crispy uniform, stands up straight, bellows orders.
Well, they're also adaptable, though,
done, or else.
Nice. But yeah, no, and then some of these others, like, I don't want to go into, but, like, some people have, like, you can have, like, a fear of poverty, or you can have, like, a fear of obscurity. You can also have a desire for wealth, as opposed to a fear of poverty. You can be like, no, I want physical stuff. Or you can be like, I've been in my life having not had physical stuff. That fucking sucks. Let's not do that. And these are, like, the kind of influences. I don't think did I have to invent anyone? I think yeah, I had to give like one person a custom one because I was like, none of these quite fit the character I have in mind. Like a perfect balance, but a lot of the rest are just normal ones. And you can have some normal ass shit. You can have like a fear of death. You can just be like, I don't want to die. That would suck.
Yeah. I don't know what's in the Great Beyond. Heck.
You know, you can have a totally normal strength, like you can be like independent, like we said. You can be courageous. You can be independent. You can just be wise. You can just be like, I've experienced a lot of shit in life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Flaws can be typical stuff like you can be angry. You can just have an anger problem. Or they can be complex stuff like you have an addiction. Pride's another common one. You can have compulsions. You can have, like I said, the intolerance, the recklessness. It's a great system. I can't wait to actually play this game and feel your characters in this world, moving and breathing and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be great.
I'm excited too.
How long have we been going on? We've been going on about an hour and a half. Let's talk about anime because I know.
Oh my god, we've been going on for an hour and a half.
Fuck yeah, we have. 1:26:20 is our current timer.
Oh my god!
Some of that'll be edited
that's
down.
actually us like. Oh my god.
We talk about heavy shit. That's what happens.
But yeah, anime. Did you finish watching anything else?
No, I have not caught up on anything else.
Heck.
Well, I mean, we didn't talk about Megalobox at all last week.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I did finish then. Still watching Persona 5. It's good. We're getting to Futaba. That'll be interesting.
Yes.
Last week when we did the show, Boku no Hero hadn't come out yet, and it did, which is great. This episode was great.
Yep. Finally showing off the shoot style.
Yeah, I knew that. I didn't know what it looked like, but I knew that this costume change and this like style change was coming, and it's really cool to see it. And kind of see that build up to it. They do it pretty good. We're gonna hopefully do some interesting things. They changed the OP. It's okay.
That's okay. See, like me, like I don't know how many other people are like this way, but I am a person who gets really into the opening and endings of animes. I need to like love them. In order for me to like enjoy the anime fully.
Sometime in my life, I was super into them. All of the Bleach OPs are very meaningful to me, unless they were really bad, because that was something. Well, one, there's a lot of fucking episodes of Bleach, so there's a lot of fucking openings.
Yeah, there is.
But just that was the thing you saw every time you watched a new episode. You saw the opening, and I can think of so many of them, and a lot of them are really good and impactful.
Like specifically, I've always remembered honestly, I hear like the Bleach openings just randomly in my head, but like the first three,
the first couple are really deep. Naruto's like that for me. I remember a lot of well, actually, I think I remember all the Naruto openings up until Naruto stopped being about Naruto and it became filler. I don't remember any of those because I didn't watch that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like the filler OPs usually kind of just made me go, eh. So, like, Bleach, like, the first three, and then, like, the final few, oh my god, just, like...
Let me actually... Hold on. Let me look up the list of
And, like, same with, like, Naruto...
Look at the
like, I can remember, like,
oh, yeah. No, I'm looking at the clips.
Yeah, the first one was Orange by Asterisk.
Yeah,
that was a really good one. Was...
Really tone setting.
Was it Everworld by The Techno Life?
Yeah, if I'm looking at the thumbnails right, it was...
Yeah, let's see. The third one was Ichirin no Hana by
another, I think, very.
It's an English name. I won't.
Okay, yeah, Ichirin no Hana, which means they're High and Mighty Color.
That's High and Mighty Color. I knew they were. Yeah, like
and then
that one was like
those were the first three. Were like those were the big fucking starting arcs in Bleach.
Yeah.
Then there was Tonight, which was all the filler shit that nobody watched. Nobody cares about that. Rolling Star and Alones though, and then After Dark. I remember all three of those. Because that was like Hekumundo and stuff. That was, I think, Arancar. That was good stuff. Rolling Star. But yeah.
Rolling Star, I think, got into...
Some of it was in filler, but yeah, no, it was going by the time the show started being, like, real stuff again. So, that's definitely when I saw it. Let's see, and let's look up show openings. Thank you for auto-completing, Google. Though, yeah, that's a...
I think Blue by Vivid is, like the, like, Bleach and, like, for, like, the final one. The Harukaze, I don't think it was. Actually, let me look them up. Damn it.
Alright, so
now I'm curious.
Let's see.
Because...
I have to double-check some of these, but the Naruto openings, like, Rocks was the first one.
Oh my god. That one wasn't that
It wasn't great, but it definitely stuck with you.
It stuck with you. The one after that, though, I can't remember the name of it.
Far Away. That was fucking great.
Yeah.
Sadness into Kindness. Go, No Boy No Cry was really impactful because that was at a deep point. And then I think I saw Remember. And then Shippuden's openings, they were off and on. Some of them were really good, some of them were not. Like Hero Comeback was really good.
I couldn't get into Shippuden just because like they started doing filler like real quick again.
Yeah, Shippuden's weird. I've watched all of Naruto except the filler stuff. All the actual plot of Naruto, I've seen it. I've seen all of the original series. I've seen all of Shippuden. Adapting weekly shonen manga is a weird thing. Like
it really is. Let's not even talk about One Piece right now. All right,
that's not. But like, especially early Naruto, the first show, not before Shippuden, had this terrible problem where the first and last 5 minutes of every show were the same. The first 5 minutes were the last 5 minutes of the previous show, and the last 5 minutes would be the first 5 minutes of the next show. And that's just how it was, because they only had so much to fill. Sometimes they
honestly,
they had really good bed music, so they emphasized it very well, but still, like, lots of repeated shots, lots of cycled stuff, lots of just, oh my god, if you're binging it, oh my god, I literally watched this 5 minutes ago. Mm-hmm.
Like, I tell people this all the time. I'm kind of glad Bleach ended kind of where it did. I mean, they kind of went into the next arc, then they stopped.
Yeah.
But, like, I tell people this all the time. Bleach should have just stopped once Aizen was defeated. The fact that they went into Furthermonth and just made this whole convoluted story of rapid paradox, random power-ups, and all this stuff.
No, I think the problem was Kubo's editors. They were like,
nope, it's popular. Got to keep printing it out.
It's popular. You've still got further ideas, right? And he's like, yeah, I got ideas for how this is going. Like, because a lot of the one thing I'd say about Kubo Tite, his foreshadowing skills or his ability to bullshit previous facts into being a thing were phenomenal. There was a big reveal in the final arc about the nature of Ichigo's powers that was like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Were you literally planning this from the beginning, or did you just realize that made sense? Either way, that's fucking phenomenal. That's quality writing. But I think the editors pressed him too much to do new designs, to do like big drawn-out fight arcs, and then they were like, okay, your ratings are tanking, fucking wrap it up. So it ended fast and prematurely. So, like... Have I ever actually physically read the end of the Bleach manga? I don't remember. That's probably not a good sign.
Again, same here. Like, I think I'm literally 2 chapters from finishing Bleach. And I'm just not, because I remember the week that it came out, the internet was enraged about it.
Yeah, everybody was mad.
I think I could try to combine the word angry and enraged, but whatever.
Well, also, I will say this. There's shipping stuff in the ending, which is something that Kubo never touched in the actual story, so naturally that's going to piss people the fuck off. People are still upset about some of the pairings in Naruto. Oops, I bumped my metal arm. My bad, guys. It's going to ring.
You'll get used to it.
We'll learn. But no, like, people are still upset about some of the way pairings ended up in Naruto. Suck it up, guys. It didn't happen. I'll say this. I'll say this as the person who was wrong, because when I was 12, I was like, no, Naruto and Sakura are going to end up together because Naruto's the main character, and also Sasuke's a dickbag. That's not how it turned out. Holy shit.
But you know what? I feel like it made sense, and like honestly, like Naruto makes perfect sense in my opinion. It's like,
it works. It works really well. And then they did a whole movie developing their relationship, which was actually good, which is canon. Naruto, the last movie, is actually a canon story. They had the actual writer write it, and then they made it into a movie, and it was pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I should maybe watch it sometime.
It's good. Most of the Naruto films are kind of
Yeah, and that's why I usually stay away from them, because I'm really like...
Yeah, once again, that's talking about shonen adaptations. Big movies usually suck. But... Yeah. Oh, God. I don't know. Naruto's pacing was just super fucked.
Yeah, as I said, that's the shonen thing. A guy literally has to sit down with... Or a woman.
True.
Has to sit down and knock out a story, like a part of a story every week.
What's the average? Like 15 to 20 pages a week?
Yep.
Which they are scripting, drawing, doing all that stuff. They don't color, but they usually draw it, and they write it, and they script it, and they storyboard it, and all that other shit.
Yeah, so they do all this stuff in a amount of a week. They are, like, under a lot of stress to do it. And then if you start adding, like, they have an anime on top of that, then you might have to start doing consulting.
Mm-hmm. You might have to do stuff like that. You have to talk to people.
Yeah, so... Like, writing a shonen, like, a popular shonen manga, not easy.
No, especially not when you are, like Bleach. Bleach got kind of in a bad way because it was one of the big 3. It was a cornerstone shonen manga and anime series that was like uber popular, and it was like a whole thing, and it had something for everybody to like. And I still like, a lot of people are like, I never really got into Bleach. I don't know, it was just blah blah. Or some people's like, it's just Dragon Ball Z with swords. I never got into. I missed Dragon Ball Z a little bit because like the way it just aired in the U.S. I wasn't quite old enough to like seek it out and appreciate it on its own, and nor was I necessarily like young enough and watching like cable TV necessarily to like catch it at the right time. And that's just how it was for me. Like, I was forced to watch,
I started watching
4
Dragon Ball
Kids
Z
stuff.
because, like, it would come on after, like, my Saturday morning cartoons, just randomly. So I watched episodes here and there just because, like, hey, more cartoons. Didn't understand what the fuck was going on. And especially since, like, early American broadcasting, they cut a bunch of episodes and shit.
Like, I remember it was a big deal when I was in my teens when...
Yeah, Toonami picked it up.
Yeah, I think it was Toonami or something aired. They called it explicitly Dragon Ball Z Uncut. And it was like, they actually aired it at like 9 or 10 at night. And it was like, I think the dialogue was still censored in part, but like a lot of the blood wasn't cut out and stuff. Like, and it was not necessarily cleaned up for like Saturday morning TV. Like, God forbid what happened with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! That's actually relevant to our future Let's Talk FGO show because Sigurd's voice actor is the same as the Japanese Kaiba, who is phenomenal. If let me tell you this: if you've watched anime, especially if you watched anime the same time I did, and you watched the Yu-Gi-Oh, like the English dub, they did a pretty good job. Both audios are about as theatrical. Mm-hmm. They're both super melodramatic about children's card games, which is great. Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged made a lot of comedy gold off that concept. But the Japanese dub, a lot of times it feels more natural because they're not like holding back. And the Japanese version is really fucking metal.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
why do you think Yugi is fucking wearing fucking bondage gear?
No, it's
like,
hardcore.
Excuse me.
The manga's even more hardcore, but the anime's still hardcore. It's like, the rare hunters, by the way, are called ghouls in Japanese, which sounds way more intimidating and more setting appropriate, because ghouls are like a Middle Eastern thing.
Like, I remember in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, Yugi would actually get people injured and shit when he turned shit. Just because
if you don't play a death game with Yami Yugi, that would be bad.
Yeah, people have been set on fire, have fallen through buildings. It's like, it's pretty fucking dark.
They mellowed it out a little bit for the anime, but still, like, that arc, especially Battle City arc, was like, that was a real thing. Like, okay, so being trapped in the Shadow Realm and suffering forever, that's kind of shitty, but at the same time, it's like, that's a clear cop-out. Like, why you gotta go with these elaborate traps? We're going to explode this glass with a special bomb, and you will fall into the Shadow Realm. No, in Japanese, there's a bomb triggered to your life points. If it blows, the pane of glass will blow, and you will plummet like 10 stories in the skyscraper and fall to your death, and you will just fucking die. Like, that's serious. Oh, these saw blades will cut off your legs, and you'll bleed out and die. The anchor will drop, and you'll drown. Like, the penalty games were like super metal, and it lends a certain weight to the show that feels very fluffy, and it makes the actual honest-to-God, like, Shadow Realm, like, banishing your mind shit even more serious, because it's like, oh my god, somehow this is even more fucked up than the Saw Blades trick. Yeah, no, like, the show is super metal. I think the English dub actually did some good points that they were able to, like, rewrite the script and smooth over some plot points that just are a given in the Japanese, because it's an anime about card games, so naturally everything must be solved with card games. Mm-hmm. Like, I will say this for the translators, they caught some hiccups in the plot and were able to, like, smooth that over.
Yeah.
But, like, it's way more serious, and the cast is actually, honestly, really good. Much like Dan Green, the Japanese guy playing Yugi does a great job switching between, I'm a high school boy who's probably not quite in puberty, to, I am a really badass dude. I'm like an inch taller somehow. But no, it's like, it's way more. And Kaiba, I mean, the English Kaiba was really good too at the time, but like, Japanese Kaiba's great. He has that melodrama down. They both have that gravelly tone to their voice. I'm really glad they cast him as Sigurd, because that's cool. But yeah, no. But seriously, like, it's hard to find because Yugi's voice actor is like a for reals actor in Japan, and he has a very strict agency, so like, tapes and stuff of the original show are hard to come by, so you might have to employ some witchcraft, but if you can't track them down and watch it, it's something I can find enjoyable as an adult, not just for nostalgia, but to actually be like, oh, this is so much more, like, serious now.
That's something that, something is good is when, like, it's aged so much and you can still be like, this is like fine wine.
Yeah, I feel that way about... There's a couple of shows that I think are distinctly from my childhood that I'm like, this is still great. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, still fucking amazing. I learned something new every time. Like, I watched that when I was like 12. I still don't think I appreciate all of that, but it's still so good. Brotherhood was in my late teens, but Full Metal Alchemist in general, because I did all of that. I watched the original anime, I read the manga until to completion, and I watched Brotherhood. All of those are just good all around.
Like, Brotherhood is the magnum opus for me.
Yeah, Brotherhood I think is the perfect storm. It's perfect in English, it's perfect in Japanese. It's just... Yeah. Hey, guess what? When your manga is done, you can do a lot better work adapting it.
Yeah! Oh my god. That is quick tangent, that is the thing I hate so much about the anime industry, is they'll start airing something before it's complete, and when they run out of seasons, it's like, alright, let's just do this weird ass ending and call it good.
We'll do the classic ending, or we'll cut off. I've never watched the anime for History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi, but that's because I know that's how it ends, because it's only like 50 episodes, and that's a long-running series, and it goes through a whole thing. As a manga, though, History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi, top. I love that. I reread it occasionally. It's really good. It's one of those... It starts as, and it still keeps a lot of the focus on, the martial arts, technique and sportsmanship, but it's one of those that eventually goes to the point where, not necessarily Kenichi himself, but people in the story are, punching aircraft carriers and, running across water and stuff, and you're like, I completely accept this. But at the same time,
we've been building up to this. There's
still, lots of real martial arts knowledge and technique and sportsmanship in it, which is really good. Which, by the way, I think segues into anime, because we're going to talk about this season a little bit. So I haven't said anything, because I want your honest reactions right now, no prep. I picked up Hanebado, the badminton anime.
Oh yeah, Hanebado, yes!
And so I saw some of the designs, and I saw some of the people talking about how it seems like it's an actual serious thing that's going places. I'm like, alright, I'll try this out. I don't give a flying flip about badminton, but if the anime's good, and then I'm like, I watched the first 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, is badminton always this serious? Because it's one of those gripping fucking cold openings.
It really was. I did not know you could take badminton this seriously.
But you fucking can, and it's great.
It is so fucking great. I'm just shout out to Camper for suggesting
animation, holy shit. It's I don't know if it's literal or not, but it's so fucking fluid and just
the OP is amazing.
The OP looks good. I feel like I have a little bit of a negative reaction because the tone shift after the actual introduction to the show is very rough. It's hey, we're happy, fun, having badminton time. Stuff these two kids just got their fucking lives destroyed. Both the people in that opening are the main characters, and neither of them are happy.
No. But, and see, that's the thing, I think, badminton is the great glue, but this is, honestly gonna be a story about these characters.
Which is great, because the characters have unique designs. Only one of them is, fantastically anime right now. There's the one pink-haired chick, who, honestly, given how, weird and provocative and stuff she is, she could have dyed her hair. I know that's not typical for Japan, but she's, a trolley-type character. You could see her breaking social rules.
Mm-hmm. She literally kidnapped a girl to give her a cold so they could fight fair. That's pretty fucking over the top, alright?
She's redonkulous.
Redonkulous. She needs the pink hair.
Some people have said some stuff these girls are in sports and they aren't, fully tying their hair back. Okay, sure, but I accept that, but at the same time, I understand that hair is part of the visual language of anime. People need different hairstyles. I accept that that's a break from reality. But best character, I have forgotten her name because it's been a couple days. Short hair. The team captain. Who is the best character? Fuck everybody.
She's tall, athletic, and she feels real. She has
real shit going on in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually has the short tomboy haircut. She's great. She's amazing.
She worked really hard at badminton, but everyone thinks she's just good at it because she's tall, and that gets to her.
And then she got fucking destroyed by the other main character, who's is a badminton prodigy because her mother is a 10-time nationals champion. But then it turns out she's got this whole fucking backstory thing that you don't learn until the third episode.
It's really again, I did not know badminton could be this serious. I was because honestly, I went to
we talked about some other sports stuff, and I talked about how I read Eye Shield. I think that's the only sports series that I read that was sports all the way through, So I'm like, God, I don't know what I'm expecting. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is great. It's drama. It's animated really well. The characters are interesting. Like
guys.
I still can't remember her name, but the team captain, she's a bit of a dick in the first couple episodes because she's dealing with some shit.
Yeah,
but
guess what?
Because you see her, the opening shows her getting fucking destroyed. She gets shut out at like the junior championship. She gets a fucking shutout. It was 21 all or 21 love, right? Yeah, 21 all love. It's like tennis. All would be if they both were 21. So it was 21 love. She had fucking nothing. She got shut out by this tiny ass kid.
Oh, Nagisa Aragaki. That's her name.
Yeah, Nagisa. Okay. Or Aragaki senpai, I think.
Yeah, Aragaki.
Because she's a third year. This is her last year to do this in high school. And yeah, and like, so when it's like 6 months later and you're like, yeah, she's a little hard on the people on the team, but at the same time you're like, I fucking understand, because you're like, holy shit, I need to be better. If I'm not better, why if I spend all this time doing it? And that's a real thing. Like, that is a thing people have to deal with in their lives, is like, did I waste my time doing this? By the way, no, psychologically speaking, let me tell you, if you feel like you ever wasted your time doing something, did you enjoy doing that thing?
It was
if
not
yes,
time wasted.
then no.
That's an actual quote somewhere.
If you had fun and you enjoyed it in the moment, you did not waste your time. You had an enjoyable experience. If you learned something, even if you didn't like it, like you learned something you can apply to your life, also didn't waste your time. You only waste your time if you were actually wasting your time. Like, if you did nothing. If you went to badminton club and literally did nothing, you never practiced, you never took part in any tournaments, you never talked to anybody, you didn't meet anybody, that was wasted time. Because you literally did nothing.
See, that's and interesting enough, that's something that also kind of might come up in Hanabado, because one of the main character's best friends said she'd be the manager, but you don't see her doing anything at all.
Well, in the first couple, but then in the third, she's like, wait, hold on, I think I can do something psychologically here. So I'm wondering if I'm hoping she's going to grow.
Yeah, so it's like, everyone is the protagonist of their own story, right. Okay?
Which is good, because it's an ensemble cast. There's a team, there's a couple of main characters, but obviously there's going to be rivals, there's going to be important people, like the fucking coach, who's a little too handsy, but also he was like, I was on the Olympic team for Japan, but then I blew out my knee.
It's great. I love his animations of him fondling hands. Makes it look really lewd.
Super detailed, but also I think accurate, because that's like an actual thing. Like, you will actually check the fucking like tendons and calluses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, yeah.
This is an anime that's had a lot of thought and love put into it.
I'm also pretty sure this is only going to be like 12 or 13 episodes, because, oh my god, the budget. How much money are they spending on this fucking animation? It's amazing, which scares me. There's like minimal CG. I've only seen like a couple of shots of like rackets and the actual shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock.
Yeah. Your mind doesn't want to remember what it's called because it's dumb, but it's shuttlecock.
Yep.
But yeah, the little birdies. I can't remember. I can't put my head above my microphone, then I get super loud. It's got like that polar thing going on. So I just sat up in my chair and I got loud for a second. But yeah, no, like those are CG sometimes. I think some of the background stuff has been CG. If the characters moving is CG, it's fucking amazing. Like, it's so
that's not
unheard
of.
No, it's not. But you have to be like really good.
Like the Guilty Gear games, obvious. Like the recent one, it's like they basically use 3D models, but frame it in such a way that it looks 2D.
Well, it's the same with Dragon Ball Z Fighters, which is it's actually 3D models, but they're arranged in a cel shaded way that makes it look like they're off the screen 2D. Because let's be real, man. Your television screen is still 2D. Everything is just an illusion. It gives you the impression of depth. It's not actually deep. It's still a flat screen image. So,
God. Perspective is everything.
Yeah,
crazy.
3D and 2D models is about how the machine is rendering. Is the machine rendering it as depth or not? Yep. So you can do the reverse. You can have a machine render what are technically 3D, being tracked as 3D objects in a way that looks like it's on a 2D plane. It's great. But yeah, no. So if they are CG, they're fucking fluid. They're amazing.
They're good. I think episode 3 is out. I'm gonna go watch that later.
Oh, you haven't watched 3? You should.
So I guess we can talk more about different.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit. Because I don't know what else I'm gonna watch. I mean, I want to try Cells at Work because we've talked about that before, and it sounds like it's really interesting. So I want to try that out.
Cells at Work is at its core a comedy. It's supposed to make you laugh and giggle. But it's like also really informative. Like if you want to learn how your body works and how it like fights off diseases and operates in a in a metaphorical sense, yeah, watch Cells at Work. I read the manga.
It's
I
like
love
Osmosis Jones, but anime.
Yeah, like literally, that's how you can look at it. It's Osmosis Jones, but anime with lolly. How do you pronounce it? Platelets. The things that help you. Platelets. Thank you. But lolly platelets. Don't lose. Please protect.
I've seen a lot of adorable platelets. One of the main characters is a red blood cell, right?
Yep. The other one is a white blood cell. And they actually like break down what they're actually called and their jobs and stuff. And they're gonna get into a lot of crazy deep. Like they talk about bacteria, how the body fights them off, how like.
Are we talking like Killing Bites level animal facts here?
Yeah, actually.
That's really cool. I hope that's good because I could use more of that. I still miss Killing Bites. Killing Bites was so trash, but it was so good. That's what Killing Bites is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, like Cells at Works, I like Lucky who watches a ridiculous amount of anime. I recommend Hanabado. If you want a sports anime that isn't as serious but still seems good, Harukana Receive. It's
I've been thinking about that myself.
It's beach volleyball. It's much more happily animated. You know, it's bright colors. The main character is much more happy-go-lucky. There still seems to be some drama in the background, but you know, it has it's beach volleyball. It's gonna be a little bit more lewd.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'll say this because we're almost coming up on 2 hours, so the anime discussion will probably be where we end it. But unless you're George Roddenberry, guess what? Drama is important. You need conflict in a story.
Yeah,
it doesn't work otherwise. So
a little about that, but it's not so serious that you just can't sit back and enjoy it for a while. Like with Hanabata, you are like Gendo pose looking at the screen. What is happening now?
This is badminton is a life and death thing all of a sudden, which it kind of is because I'll admit I didn't go to high school, but I know what it's like, especially because I've watched a lot of anime, played a lot of Japanese games. I know what Japanese high school is like, kind of. There's that clubs and extracurriculars are a huge deal. It's very important. I was actually quite surprised when that one girl said that she maybe not would go to a club because at least a few years back when I learned this fact, that was not a thing you do. And a couple of Persona games have forced you to join a club, for instance. P3 and P4, I think, both forced you to go. You had to pick like an athletics club and a cultural club. You had to pick, or your teachers got mad.
Yeah, P5, they get you an out because you're a social outcast and no one was scared.
Mm-hmm. You're a social outcast who immediately bonds with another social outcast. So it's like, what the fuck are you going to join? You can't join. The track club doesn't exist. The volleyball team's not going to. But yeah, that's a thing. So extracurriculars are super important. So I totally get. And if you talk about like the athlete path, like I wasn't very sporty as a kid. I played a little t-ball because you do. I played a little soccer, and yes, I'm American, so I can say soccer, which I was okay at. I didn't really. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Our team never won a game, but there were like 3 teams in our league when I was like 12, and I just did it to like socialize and get out more. Mm-hmm. I like to swim for my own personal enjoyment. I don't necessarily do it in like a sporty way, but I could if I wanted to, and I've done like laps for my own enjoyment. But I'm not like dedicated to a sporty thing. But I totally understand that if that's like your career path, that's how that works. Like you start training young, you join teams in like this age and that age, and the teacher has a really good drive. He like sets it up. He says, "We are gonna produce an Olympic gold medalist at this school," and like and if he says that, that's a huge deal, because you could at that level you can arrange it. And that's the point where it's important in your life, right? So you treat badminton as a serious fucking business. Because it is, kind of.
Hey, if it's an Olympic sport, it's serious, all right?
Yeah, I'll say this. So I'm home alone right now. Fun fact, the fact that I don't like to go out and we have a couple of cats in the house means I get to stay home when people go to family functions. So my parents are going to family reunion. I'm watching the cats. But the cats are kind of clingy for cats. So we've been leaving the TV on for them a lot. So they get to watch a lot of shitty daytime and late night TV. But I caught this on, I think it was it Wimbledon, or was it like it was some kind of tennis thing. I watched a little bit just in passing. It was fucking fierce, like the tennis, like there was a lot of back and forth and just, big slam, boom. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the, I think it was Serena Williams playing. It was like that. It was one of her matches, and she just slammed it to the other end, and the other woman was like, fucking nothing, I can't get over there.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Hanabato
there's some
definitely
serious
catch-
effort in
catches that
sports.
spirit. Yeah. Sports is serious. And Harukana Receive, as I said, slightly, but you still feel it. You still feel that drama. You still feel that, that in the moment of playing. It's good. If you want like just more like general drama, what I'm gonna suggest for you guys go watch is called Anglomosis: Record of the Mongol Invasion. It's basically an anime dealing with the Mongol invasion of Japan, which did happen. I think it happened twice actually. But it's taking place on the island of Tsushima, which, interesting enough, Sucker Punch Game is making their new title, Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm also assuming is dealing with the Mongol invasion.
Well, we know it does. We don't know if it's the exact thing.
Yeah, but that's it. I'm assuming. So there's 2 episodes out. It's feudal Japan goodness. Let's see here. I'd also suggest Angels of Death. This one was basically freeware. I think it was freeware, made in RPG Maker originally.
Yeah.
Apparently it did good enough that they made an anime out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a girl with amnesia wakes up in a building. People are trying to kill her. She's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Meets a guy, who says, who wants to escape, and if he escapes, he'll kill her for her because she wants to die. If you want to go with some crazy shit, like legit, like, oh my god, what the fuck I'm watching, try Happy Sugar Life. Happy Sugar Life is about a teenage girl who kidnaps a little girl and kills people to keep her safe. Yeah, we're talking full on yandere. I love it though.
Yeah.
Banana Fish, another good drama based off the manga, the early 90s. Real good New York City aesthetic. Oh my god, I fucking love it. It's only 2 episodes in. Omega, you need to watch it. I'm telling you right now, you need to watch Banana Fish.
All right, if you say I need to, I'll try it. I'm definitely gonna. I want to check out How to Kind of Receive. I want to check out Cells at Work. I'll check out Banana Fish.
All right.
And I remember, I think we actually talked about when it was announced, the Mongol one, which has a name I can't say without looking at it. But that one, they showed some preview stuff, and I remember when I was reminded of what it was. I looked up some of the images. I'm like, oh, I remember this fucking key art. We were excited about this. Okay, I'll check that out. I'm still gonna be a little slow. I need to speaking of Japan and invasions and stuff and other stuff. I need to catch up on Golden Kamuy sometime.
Yeah, it's Golden Kamuy is going to be having its next fall, so you got time.
Yeah.
As always, because this is Japan, we got several isekai titles out, but thankfully it seems like they're not all garbage. Because as much as I love the isekai genre, there is a lot of...
If you know and enjoy a genre, then you understand, I think it's Sturgeon's Law, that 90% of everything is crap.
But we actually
there are certain genres that I feel that way about. I fucking know. Oh god, these are awful.
Yeah. But if you like isekai, I was actually kind of surprised, but How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is actually turning out really good. They actually put a decent budget into this.
I might have to look at that.
And yes, while they're still...
I saw all the pre-release stuff and the summary. I'm like, oh my god, it's this fucking type of show.
It is. It's you're gonna be seeing fucking jiggly elf tits everywhere, but the characters are great. Literally, the guy's OP, but he's doing the Overlord thing where he's he has to act OP, but he kind of has no idea what he's doing. By the way, Overlord Season 3 is out too, so that's something else you can watch. But don't worry, we still got our shitty isekai, which is... What is the name? Because I'm watching it anyway, just because I need... To know something is good, you have to know what's bad, so...
True. And also, like I said, you just like the
genre.
genre.
You can
jump in and study stuff. I'm trying to think, what are stuff that I really like? Usually, for me, the things that are I want to know more and see more is usually urban fantasy stuff or psychic stuff. And I have seen some shitty urban fantasy in my day, both read and watched. Nothing springs to mind right away, but yeah, no, I've read some Garbo. And then there's some stuff that I'm like, God, that's fucking amazing. You want me to talk about? I feel like sometimes I have better memories of mangas, which didn't really receive a lot of anime attention than I do animes. Just the other day, I was thinking about Siren. Do you remember Siren, Lucky? The manga? I don't think they ever adapted it.
Did I? I know I've read Siren, but oh god, what was it?
They have psychic powers. They go to the future where shit's fucked up.
Oh yeah, yeah, and the guy has the ability to make the black balls. That's right.
No, that's it. I just thought I haven't reread it yet. I'm probably gonna though, but I thought about it for the first time in a long time. Like, God, that was really fucking good. That was formative. Also, I was trying to think because I watched Hanabata. I'm like, have I ever actually watched a series? Because I missed Prince of Tennis. I just I don't want to watch that when that was like dubbed in English.
Same.
I read Eye Shield. I'm like, didn't really enjoy anything that's sports focused. I read a little bit of Bamboo Blade, but it didn't catch me, so I don't really remember it. That was the girls' kendo team one.
I hear a really popular one is the boys' volleyball. What was it, Haikyuu?
Haikyuu, yeah. I've heard of that, but I don't think that's my speed. Like, listen, I can appreciate that a guy looks good, but that's not why I watch stuff. You need something else to me.
Same with Free. Like, if I need to see some men in action, I'm gonna go watch me some Free. But it's not like...
It was. I haven't watched it. It was ridiculous, but oh my god, the name's totally blanking on me. What's the boobs and butts sport?
Keijo.
Keijo, that's right. Yeah, that's like another that was technically sports adjacent, but it was like really dumb.
Like, see, here's the thing. You know me. Like, I'm to everyone. I'm a boobs and butts guy. I've only watched like one episode of Keijo. I still have it in my Crunchyroll queue to eventually watch it. Still haven't done it.
Mm-hmm. But like I've read a couple. I've read some mangas that started sports adjacent, and then they get weird. Like History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi's like that. It starts as just this kid needs to learn martial arts to fight back against bullies because he's an upstanding honest soul, and then like I said, punching aircraft carriers. The other one I immediately thought of was Air Gear, because Air Gear starts very focused on the sport of like the gears, and then it gets to like I'm gonna fly and kick storms and stuff. But it starts very focused on sport.
I feel that was intentional though.
It was, because I think that artist has done. He's good at like over the top designs, and his action shots are great. But
oh yeah, Oh Great, I fucking love Oh Great. I need to check if he's been working on Trinity Bio actually.
But yeah, no, Air Gear did get an anime adaptation that I've never watched because it's only like 20 episodes, so it's like
don't know. Just read the manga, and get all that Oh Great goodness.
Except that Oh Great used to do porn. They used to draw porn. You can tell that from some of the body shapes and some of the detail, but you don't care because even if it's like it's a little itchy sometimes, it's also fucking great. Like, oh my god, there's a lot of thought.
Man, don't get me started on like artists who've gotten that. Do you know you watch Maid Dragon, right?
Yeah, I did.
Kobayashi. Yeah, guy who made that made porn.
Well, lots of people. Like, the artist behind Love Hina and Maha Sensei Negima. Also has an alt, like, started as doing, like, doujins and stuff, some of which were erotic.
Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. Porn sells, my dudes. If you want to make money, you draw them titties.
It's a great way if you're an artist to start making money immediately, is to draw porn and stuff. And then you can move into your serious, this is my real-life expression shit. We're talking about early adopters again. But that's... Also, you want to talk about how, like, it's not socially acceptable here. That's a thing. Like, in Japan, it's not, like, super socially acceptable, but from the industry standpoint, you can legitimately move from drawing porn and fan books to being a real artist. Like, you could say that's how you got your start. You don't necessarily reference it, but it's an acceptable fact that people can know about you, right?
Yeah, like take Raita. Character designer for Valkyria Chronicles. I think that man still draws porn.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. He has contracts, like with Sega, saying he cannot draw porn of specific characters. He cannot draw doujins involving Salvaria. That is specifically a contract he has made.
Right, because they're like, we don't want you accidentally producing what is technically official porn of this character.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, no, they are.
Because, by the way, I am pretty sure that's how that works. If you're a character designer and you design a character art and then you draw that character doing naughty stuff, you just made official porn.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, no, it's like, it's one of those that, you know, it's like, it's one of the things like, how do I say it? It's like, this is a, acceptable evil, I guess they'll call it. Because guess what? Porn artists are really good.
Well, yeah, hey, guess what? Even if you're not a porn artist, you have to study nude models and stuff to get, like, your anatomy and all your facing down right and stuff. By the way, I still got those art books that I'm going to send you sometime.
Yeah, I need muscle. Like, trust me, like,
But yeah,
sometimes
like,
when I'm drawing, I'm like, I have porn up, not because, you know, I'm trying to draw something loose. Like, I'm like, how do those fucking muscles look?
yeah, how does your body
And guess
move
what?
and work? And guess what?
Mhm.
If there's clothes in the way, it's hard to. So, hey, guess what? If somebody wants to, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stylization that goes into porn, both actually with actors and even just drawn or animated or whatever. That's okay. Stylization is important for art.
Mhm.
But at the same time, to
Okay,
get
right
your
to-
style, you have to try and practice and figure out, and you have to understand what you're doing, because if you're too goofy and weird, people will just be like, "That's funny. That looks, excuse me, that looks awful." That guy and girl are trying to apparently fuck at the stomach level as opposed to like the groinal level.
Yeah,
Or
like, actually,
you
remember I
run
saw a
into
GIF, like,
or if you're not experienced enough or cannot show enough detail, you run into problems like doing shitty all-clothed sex scenes in movies and stuff where you can't actually show any of the naughty bits or even really hint at it, but at the same time it's like, I don't think that's anatomically possible.
yeah, this reminds me, like, I saw a GIF on Twitter yesterday of Morgana, of just basically shaping her hits, and her tits were literally just flying around like someone was slapping them and they were filled with air. And I was just laughing so much.
Right.
Just because
It's
that's
funny.
not how tits work.
No.
I'm not going to go and shame the artist who made it, because at the end of the day, because they said this is one side, but at the end of the day, someone sat down, took the time, and created that.
They made the thing.
And no matter what, I want the person to feel good about creating something.
Right.
If you put in the
feel
effort
that
for
way.
something-
If you... Hey, guess what? We're creatives. We're doing a creative thing right now, ostensibly.
Yeah.
We're talking about stuff. We're talking through topics. We do other creative stuff. We do a show. We produce shows. We're going to do, like, actual plays and stuff. We do Let's Plays. We talk through stuff. We talk with people. If you're creating and you're just trying to create, you just got to put it out there and find joy in that creation. And that's just how it is. You
That's
feel
how it
the
is.
urge to create,
maybe
and
you
you
have-
want to create, and people will shit on you for creating, and you want to just... No. Just like, hey, at the end of the day, you made a thing. Maybe you can make that thing
Feel
better
good
next
about it.
time, but hey, guess what?
Yep.
The people who often hate creative work the most are the person who created it.
Yeah. And believe it or and the people below that are people who usually don't create anything at all. See, that's the thing that I think that really grinds my gear to meme is when people who don't actually put any time or effort into creating a thing or have any understanding of the process of a thing try to critique your thing. It's like,
Yeah, we run into that problem a lot, I think, in our business, because we'll probably talk more about that once again on Let's Talk FGO, which we'll record tomorrow, but that's definitely a problem we have, where people are like, they think that this should be an easy and simple system just because they don't know what goes into it. Like,
yeah.
you can tell somebody, just, like, drawing a fucking hand's easy, just draw a fucking hand. A 5-year-old can do it.
Oh my, don't
Hey,
you
guess
fucking
what?
dare.
They're
oh
wrong.
my god.
I can't draw. And I know I can't draw well because I've traced stuff and I've tried to do little doodles. I can't really do well. Like, symbols I'm good at. And I've done some funny stickmen and stuff. But like,
Oh
I
my
cannot
God, hands
like
require, like,
look at a thing and
5
sketch it.
reps. I need like an intense microscope.
But yeah, no, hands
Oh
are
my
fucking
God.
hard. You think to yourself, you just look, it's just a fucking hand. A kid can turn it
It's
into a
just a
turkey.
fucking hand.
No. If you don't understand that it's hard, it's hard. It is. Like, fuck, even doing the videos, like, we just talked about my fucking microphone was goofy earlier, and how, like, its settings got weird, and now I'm gonna have to do more audio work on it, and it's probably not gonna sound as cool as it could have. But, like, fuck, man, like, there's a lot of back end to this. It's not just us having the energy and motivation to speak for 2 hours and 9 minutes and 42 seconds.
Oh my god. Oh my
But
god.
it's some of that, but also, hey, then we have to, like, produce it, and do the extra to it. We have to figure out the other stuff. I think we're wrapping up, though, with this creative element. We talked about anime, and we talked a little bit of video games. We talked about a lot
I
of
got
heavy
more
shit.
recommendations, but I can save it for next week. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously recommendations are evolving. We're only like 2 or 3 episodes into most shows, which is the key strike zone. I've always heard this with TV or especially with anime. You have to give.
Yeah, give it 3
I
episodes.
say give it 3 episodes because almost always they have a turn or they have a focus. Like some episodes, like we talked about, Hanabata was like boom, gripped. But also they actually develop characters over those first 3 episodes, so you really understand the key conflicts. Like. They could just hammer home that this first match is the end-all, be-all. It's not, though. It's just the setup.
It's the hook.
Mm-hmm. Like,
They showcased great animation. They said Like this ain't your middle school. Well, actually, it was middle school badminton, I think, or something.
No, it was just
It
was junior badminton. Like Nagisa was high school, but the other one was like leaving middle school.
Yeah,
but it was like junior nationals.
But yeah, this ain't your kiddie time badminton. Nah, this is serious for real badminton. And you're like, I am intrigued. And then it's all like, but guess what? We also got character development. And you're like, oh shit.
Also, like I said this before, but Nagisa's the best girl. She's the best. There's also that, but that's not the focus. They're just like the design. It's really good looking and stuff. But yeah, no, like I'm trying to think. Like
yeah, next week, don't worry. I'll tell you about guys more anime to watch.
Mm-hmm. And we're glad you enjoy it. Actually, go back and listen to maybe our anime show. In retrospect, you can see how we've evolved and how this is way fucking better.
Oh yeah. Like as I said, I don't think people really want to hear us talk about every single episode. They just wanted us to give us broad thoughts. It's like, should you watch this?
I mean, I think some people were okay. It's a little too close to me. That was loud. I think some people were okay with it. It just didn't catch on with our audience, which was smaller. Yeah. So it didn't really go anywhere. But also, I think it's just like, I don't think we had a good format. I don't think we enjoyed ourselves all the time, and I don't think we were able to doing it in that style. I don't think we were able to bring our A game all the time.
Here we can literally go with the flow.
I could have refined that a lot, and like at some point, like if I ever find another Killing Bites, I want to do my text style recaps, but probably post those like Patreon, just to post them, just because I always thought those were fucking gold. I always felt good about myself after writing Killing Bites recaps.
That never was funny, especially since I never watched it, and so everything I heard from. Wait, what? No. It was great. I fucking love that.
Throws her own arm. Jumps immediately to sexual assault. Wait, have I written this before? She says the thing. Lots of other dumb stuff. Killing Bites was great. If you haven't watched it already, go back and watch Killing Bites. And make sure you watch the American release, which is uncensored, because there's nipples in it, in one episode, which is unheard of for Japan, on TV.
Alright, I think we should wrap this up.
Let's just wrap it up. Do we have any final thoughts, or are we just going to do the outro? If you're still here after 2 hours and almost 15 minutes, it'll be shorter when I edit it down. But, like, for us, it's a long journey. Not even Byrne is here anymore. She left.
Yeah. I don't know if she's actually listening that much. I think she might have had another call to go to. Like, was away, because usually she'd be like,
hey, guess what? She's a Patreon. She'll just catch this in audio format later along with some of our others. Hi, guys. If you want to get shit early and right away, consider supporting us on Patreon. Like, I'm not joking when I say it's a great deal. It's $1 a month to get our audio downloads. You can download it in case you got to worry about, like, mobile or some shit. And you get all our long-form shows in audio format directly, like, right away. Like, I do audio editing, which takes, like, at most 30 minutes. I make a thumbnail. I post it to Patreon. Then I have to wait, like, 2 hours for it to fucking render.
I need to knock out this Brave Liz art so I can start working on character avatars for us, so we can throw those up.
So I don't have to use generic emojis?
Yeah, I'm struggling. Like, I got mine planned out, I gotta be honest, but, like, I'm trying to think of a robot with sideburns. I'm just like,
I gotta be honest, I don't even know what the fuck the visual... Like, I don't know what the visual branding for the show is, other than just, I did the first thumbnail, and guess what? The second thumbnail is gonna look a lot like that until we figure this shit out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure this shit out. I gotta make some art. Like, this weekend, like, I did some, like... I guess I'll mention this as our outro. Like, I decided to put on a programmer hat, and I made a small Discord bot, like, as a test thing, and I got to work. It took fucking forever.
Yeah, you're fine-tuning that right now.
Everyone's just like, no, make it do more.
Well, I mean, I'm like, I have some thoughts and things that I know are possible, theoretically, because I know other bots do them that I'd like to do in-house, but at the same time, I'm like, but some of this stuff's not a rush. Honestly, my core function I would like it to have is to be like, the joke I made when I'm like, I need Lucky to make a bot is I need to have the bot welcome people. Mm-hmm. And I thought it should be DaVinci just because every fucking time somebody comes in, you're like, Yokoso. And I'm like, oh, it's just like what DaVinci says. Welcome. And then, like I said, the recommendation to have it, like, if it could, like, proc wiki links or proc a search to make a link, that'd be great. Other than that, I don't fucking know. I'd like it to announce our videos, but I can't even get Meesix to do that. Technically, it should be doing that right now, but I don't know if I've got it configured rightly so it can do that, or if it's just lazy.
Yeah, like, as I said, like, all I can make the DaVinci channel do right now is some simple messages. Like, if you type in a message, Like,
if you type in a certain command,
right now,
she gives a certain feedback, right?
Yeah. Like if you say, "Hey, Da Vinci," she goes, I thought I heard something, but it sounded like it was missing something. And if you go, "Hey, Da Vinci Chan," she goes, "Yes, it's your favorite perfect beauty and unrivaled genius, Da Vinci Chan."
Nice. So yeah, we're moving on up in the world, but you're gonna focus on art this weekend. I finally was able to sit down and just in the middle of the day record another hour of game dev. I would have recorded more, but once again, rendering.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like.
But yeah, check that the fuck out. Those are fun. I'm finally, I think, catching my rhythm in that game, but it's hilarious because every time I try to experiment, it's terrible. It's fucking awful. And then I'm like, I'm gonna make another simulation RPG game. You know, like 9s, 10s, at the very least, like a solid 7 rating. I'm like, I can do this, yay! And then it's like, oh fuck, but I wanna try different shit so I can learn. Nope. You will see that a lot in the next episode that's not out yet. I don't know if it'll come out until next week, because we got a couple of lucky plays in the backlog. This will come out on the weekend.
There's gonna be more. I'm gonna try and get so many out that Omega's gonna just start releasing them every day, just because he needs to get them out.
Which I can totally do, and we got other stuff in the backlog. Again, this is mostly Let's Talk FGO, but it's related to the channel, so I went ahead and recorded the Wanted for Summer Tamamo, and it's like, well, we don't have to worry about it for another week, but I might have had to worry about it right away, so it's already shot and uploaded, so it's just lurking in the background, waiting for the perfect drop, where we can get all those
problem
sweet
with
views.
the YouTube thing is if you upload something, it's stays in a list, and as we upload things, it's just gonna get slowly moved down. I'm like,
it gets moved down because it's sorted by. You can sort it different ways, and then you could because we do Patreon and we post videos early to them, which is another reason why you should back us. Shill. But we get them uploaded, and then we post the unlisted link to Patreon first, like a day early. And then we basically we make them public, which counts as publishing them. Which sometimes moves stuff to the top of the list, sometimes it doesn't. I don't really know how that works, YouTube. But yeah, no, it's we can build a bit of a backlog sometimes. But it's easy relatively to find what you need. I just have to sometimes double check that I don't accidentally post skip an episode or anything like that. I like to cross-reference myself.
Yeah, same.
God forbid, if we actually were able to get together and set up this as a studio, we would eventually probably hire somebody to always be on hand to log into the channel and manage it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
But it's just us two for right now.
Game Dev Tycoon. Check out Lucky's Let's Plays of Dead Space. I haven't gotten through more, but I watched the first one. It's fucking great. People seem to like it. It gets if you look at our subs value, which is $7.69 right now, it's not super high, but at the same time, we've had very shitty responses to some video series in the past when we had nobody watching anyway. So they're doing pretty good. People like them. They're very well liked, at least, which is good. And also, we have other stuff that comes out.
Yeah, going forward, I'm gonna try and keep doing something new and better for each game series. I'm pretty sure my next game, I'm gonna spring back Lucky Text, where I just make snide comments, in the processing. Because if you're a patron, you've probably seen our lost episode of Anime Power, where I actually did visuals.
And if you haven't, that's just our $5 level. And Editor Lucky choice. Editor Lucky's great. If we can employ Lucky full time to just watch my videos and edit them, when I record Let's Plays and stuff, and put snarky text on the screen, I'd fucking do that.
I was I'm one of those guys who, I actually mentioned this earlier, in the moment, I might not think of anything witty, but you let me, think about it a second.
No, when you get your time to collect yourself, you got some sharp, you got a sharp wit.
Mm-hmm. As I said, ADD. I need to, kind of all over the place, but if I can focus, you cannot contain Lucky, you can only placate. But for my next series, I think I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to finish out Dead Space as I'm doing now, which is better than BioShock, because, one, I fixed the audio and video. Now I'm just going to make it more interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty interesting just because we talked about your snarky persona. You are so sassy to necromorphs. And yet they still jump scare you sometimes. You're like, fuck. Heck.
It's great.
If you like Lucky's hecks or hisses, a lot of those. You got a very distinct verbal tick. Did I actually say that one of the reasons why I wish they'd release Fallout New Vegas again was so that I could stream it on PS4? Because I wish they would. I'd totally do that. I could dick around for hours and just occasionally mutter things to myself. And when Cazadors come out, I like, shit, fuck, reload, put bullets in gun. Because, by the way, we'll round this out before we do the outro with another IRL fact about Omega. I have a phobia about bees and wasps and other stinging insects. I was stung as a child for no reason. I was just minding my own business in a field in recess. And so, ever since then, I have one of those for real phobias, like that actual, honest-to-God, irrational fear. Not like, I think most people are trepidatious about heights or water. That's a rational fear. If you're out on the ocean and you can't see land, and you feel, that makes me feel uneasy, that's a rational fear. When you're like, oh my god, it could be a bee, and you like, I have taken a flying dive into the next room to get away from it, that's an irrational fear. Omega, you don't need to run away from that bee, it's tiny. But still. So Cazadors in New Vegas are like, that's me confronting my fear. Because they're big, they sting the shit out of you, they're really fucking annoying. They poison you, and just, there's so many of them, they're so hard to shoot, so I do a lot of panic bips. Lots of panic fire. And that would probably make for entertaining streams. But we're going to round this out, we're going to go ahead and end this out. I'm going to say, if you like this video, give it a like. Woo. If you have any comments about this, like, because obviously the format and the length and all that other stuff, that's constantly changing. Let us know your feedback. So far,
also,
we've got mostly positive feedback.
Let us know if you want, like, show notes out of this.
Yeah, if you want show notes
honestly,
or details and stuff. I kind of like that.
Yeah, you're going to have to, like, tell me that, because otherwise I don't want to do this, because we're so
flowy, and we go back to topics and loop. It's so stream of conversation. It's like, it's just,
yeah, so it's like, it'd be, like, honestly hard to, like, point down where one point ends and another begins. But if you want us to try and do something like that, at least give you, like, a ballpark estimate of where things are, let us know, and we'll try to figure out something. Because otherwise, no, I don't want to do show notes for this.
Because guess what? We started doing show notes because people were like, hey, it'd be really cool if you could, like, give us time codes or something about when you start topics. And I was like, we can do that,
yeah,
right?
time codes. I don't know why I'm saying show notes.
I mean, most people refer to them as the same thing. Like, show notes would be a topic list that comes with time codes.
Yeah.
We don't want to do them for this because it's long and it's fucking meandering. But you let us know, we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
If you have not already, please subscribe. It's a great way to keep track of our channel. Also, don't forget to the bell for notifications, because obviously, you might not know this, but we post stuff all the time. Like, all week.
Every day.
Almost every day of the week. If we don't post something that day, that's probably because we double posted something, like, on a previous day. But in general, I try to post something every day. So, yeah, no, we are doing content all the time. If you just like us. We're at almost 400 videos.
Yeah.
Like, next week, we'll probably hit 400. But yeah, so we do this a lot, guys. We got a lot of backlog. And just check it out. So, notifications, the bell is a great way to keep track of that. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon. Obviously, you get stuff out of it, as we've discussed. We get a lot of good stuff. I think our Patreon scheme is very reasonable. People who are Patreon seem to enjoy it. So check that out. It would really help us out and lets us do stuff like buy capture cards and new microphones and storage and all that other shit we do to do this and make it better. Because we do want to make better. And also kind of sort of maybe I could use it to buy more video games that I can then do videos about. But that's not the first thing I do, okay? We do other stuff first. But in general, like, actually supporting us would be nice. Yeah, I think that's it. And well, merch. We don't have a What's Up shirt yet, but I'm sure I'll figure out something dumb sometime. We have lots of other shirts for our shows.
I kind of want to wait till we get, like, character avatar for What's Up, because I feel like What's Up's going to actually stick around.
Yeah, okay, we can do that.
As I said, like, this is only our second week recording.
Yeah, no, the first one was a pilot. This one is a super pilot. This is, like, we're still figuring stuff out. Like, we're testing. We do that a lot. And I like to record and upload our tests because I want you guys to learn with us, basically. Yeah, because I think that's good.
We're pretty transparent here, people.
We like to be... I mean,
not
like,
100%, but pretty.
We keep stuff to ourselves for technical stuff that nobody needs to know. Like we have mentioned we have, like, copyright problems, but we don't, like, go and bitch about every little video where something happens. Though, pro tip, if it's a Bioshock video, it probably happened. God damn it. But yeah, no. So yeah, that's just a thing. Check out our merch. We got, like, channel-branded stuff. We got jokes. We got all kinds of stuff. We've got a couple of shirts that are out in the wild. So that's a thing. And yeah, just that's the end of the show. Lucky, you got any final thoughts before I stop this bad boy and have to process it?
I should have been in bed like 2 hours ago.
You should have. Go to bed. Go to sleep.